morning, lovely people. It is Friday, the 2nd of June. Welcome to TDA, the day after, your favorite news platform and the home of popular culture as defined by you guys, the culture. And I am one of your lovely hosts, my own royalty.
And they call me Ema, the pro-black activist, TDA producer, news analyst, melanin jam-packed.
That is right. How are you this lovely morning?
I can't complain.
I feel like this week has gone by really quickly, but we had a bank holiday.
Yeah. I think the whole month has kind of gone by quick, you know?
It has. All the bank holidays were lovely.
Mm-hmm.
Three
of them, yeah, man.
I do wish we could have spread, had one each month, because our next one is in August, end of August. And after that is Christmas.
That's crazy, you know?
Capitalism is just, it's wild. Surely this wasn't God's plan.
But if it was left to the socialists, we have nothing.
Yeah, but who is it that wants half and half? Liberalists?
The who? The Buddhists?
No, liberalists.
Oh.
No, not the Buddhists. Honey. The Buddhists would all be, who is it that everything is like half and half? Then that those societies, everyone has just enough.
Oh, like socialists?
Socialists. So we would have nothing. We'd have enough.
But then it would infringe on other things and then you won't go nowhere. It would be stagnant.
Nah, I think I'd rather that.
Serious?
Yeah, because life is such a rat, it's a rat race. It's when you actually sit down and deep it, it's mad. People just work and work and work.
It's true.
And it's madder because when you die, that's it. It stops. Nothing you worked for here means anything.
That's true. That's why you got to make the best of everything here, isn't it?
That's the thing. So you got to create a balance. That's why I don't believe in working so hard where I'm down to the ground. I have to create a balance. I feel like you can obviously work hard, don't be lazy or whatever, but it's so important to have a healthy balance.
I agree.
Otherwise,
100%.
you just literally work yourself to the ground. And people who die as a result of working too hard have a heart attack or they don't take care of their bodies and they have illnesses and stuff like that. And then that's all you got to show for it.
Yeah, 100%. But is that capitalism though? Or is that more so that individual?
It's capitalism because society reinforces the need to work and get this and work for this and get money for this. And it all revolves around money. That's why people do what they do.
That's because I guess we need stuff, innit? And if we don't work for it, how do you get it?
I think a lot of things are wants, not needs.
That's true. 100%.
But that's the thing though. The ads and stuff, everything makes you believe that you need it. But really, it's a want.
But I think it's important for us to have wants because if there was no wants, there'll be no microphones, there'll be no iPhones, there'll be no nothing. We'll literally just be talking to each other, waiting
pigeons.
You know what I'm saying? Crazy
That
methods.
would have been a cool time though. But I don't know how I would have done that because I'm scared of birds. So I ain't sending no letters or receiving any. But I think wants are good, but if you can have healthy wants, I think. Because some people want things and they will literally do the absolute maddest things to get the wants, but it's not a need, so you can calm down.
But then, what makes somebody say this is a mad want or this is just like a regular want?
I think when you start, it depends on what it is you have to do to get the want.
Okay.
Depending on what you have to do to get the want, it's not want. If people have to do certain things for needs, I can understand. If I'm stealing to feed my family, that's a need.
Yeah.
They're going to die otherwise. But if I'm stealing to get a Balenciaga coat, that's a want. And that's an unhealthy want because I shouldn't have to resort to certain things to get that one. And if I want a want, if there's a want as well, and I know that I don't, I'm ignoring my health, I'm not taking care of myself, but I'm pushing my body to the extremes to get that, it's not that deep.
But then, okay, using that same thing, look at someone like Steve Jobs,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, if Brent, you may have to correct me, right? But this guy was working crazy hours.
Yeah.
Elon Musk, for example, also does the same. Gets minimal hours sleep and this and the third. But they've changed the world.
Yeah, but that's the thing, they've changed the world. My Balenciaga coat's not going to change the world.
No, but you never know ahead of time what will change the world. They just had visions and was like, okay, cool, I want this to be the case. And I want the world to experience this idea in my mind. So I'm prepared to work 16, 17, 18 hours a day.
I think that's different though.
How
Because
do
that's stuff.
differentiate?
So it's something like, if it's an idea that's going to benefit, is bigger than yourself, that makes sense for me.
Okay.
But if it's something that may solely, just, I guess, material stuff I'm really thinking about. Yeah, if it's for like material stuff. And I know because sometimes some people were like, well, I want like a big house. I want to go on this amount of holidays. I just think you just have to, I just think with everything there's a balance. Because even with people who are trying to bring ideas that will, create a new world and everything and change stuff, you still have to know when it is that you're burning out now and you need to take a moment to breathe and to take a step back. And not take a step back from what you're doing, but you need to know when it's like, do you know what? Let me pause for today. Let me rest.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Because otherwise, you're going to die. You're going to die with, and you wouldn't have achieved what you wanted to do. And I think that's the thing. People don't talk about rest enough. All these little CEOs that love to do them little TED Talks. You need rest. Because if you don't have rest, now you've reached a mind block. So you can't even come up with any ideas.
But I think it all depends on the individual though. Because I personally think 8 hours is too long. 8 hours. 8 hours. That's a third of your life. Sleeping.
Yes, and because when I wake up, I'm go. The way my day is set up here, if I get 8 hours sleep, I've earned that 8 hours sleep. Because when I wake up, I'm on the go until my head hits the pillow again.
But see that means because every single day you're depleted, so you need that restoration in that 8 hours.
Yeah.
So it's different for you. A lot of people, it's not the case.
If you're 8 hours. And every day of the week, you're throwing in a 4-hour nap here.
You know what I'm saying?
Your story is very different over there.
Yeah, man.
It is interesting, but I feel, obviously, it's not a universal or something that we can generalize. It just depends on the individual, but it's quite interesting, man. I find life so fascinating and so funny. But I've got a question of the day for us. And it is, what is your favorite thing to do with your family?
Interesting.
It's interesting. Okay, I'll go first because
you're
thinking a bit too long. Mine is just when we're all like when we just chill and we've got like good food and we're just gisting. Like
I was thinking food, but I was thinking eating.
But like it's just I don't know, like we're just when we're all together, so not just me and my mum and my sisters, my brother as well, my niece, my nephew, his wife, and we're all just gisting. Sometimes my auntie and uncle as well. But like I think I love a good family gist. That would be my favorite thing. Yeah, gisting. And I love the fact that I'm older now and I get to know the family tea. I'm like, you heifers. Because when I was younger, I looked at them like, oh my gosh, like, this person's got their life together. And when you grow up and you find out who's been doing what with who, ridiculous.
It's crazy,
All sinners, mate. It's crazy. Yeah.
Have you been on like a family holiday? Like all of you?
No, as in an extended family?
Yeah.
No.
What, even just like immediate family?
Yeah. Just my family, we have.
Okay. We've never done that,
Really?
Yeah.
It's quite fun, but I haven't been on one in my current state.
Okay.
I think we're planning one next year. But I'll be honest, if it doesn't clash with any of my other trips. So I haven't been on one in my current how I am state. So I think that will be an interesting trip. But what I like, that if I was to go with my family, is that we're all very alike. In like holiday mode is downtime, relaxing time. So I'm not going to feel that pressure of I've got to do this or do that. I definitely will be having a separate room, obviously. But there's no pressure of like, we've got to do this. Because that's my thing with like friend trips.
Okay. Yeah.
Is that pressure of, I want to do this activity. Hello. It's not what I came on the trip for. I'm here to relax. But I would want to do one with like my bigger cousins and everything. But I have a thing about being around people these days. So it's just that.
What, even family, man?
Everybody.
Okay.
Like, I don't... I have to be around people that... Not that my family don't give me peace, but I haven't been in situations to test out everyone's energy.
Okay.
So when I'm around people, I can only be around people who I'm just myself. Like, I'm calm. I don't have to pretend. I don't have to act. And like, I'm just calm. So because I don't know what my energy is like around certain people outside of certain settings, like when we have barbecues and stuff like that, that's different. Yeah. But I haven't chilled with anybody in silence to know how I would feel around them. But I'm very big about people I'm around.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Is there like a country that you would like to go to besides somewhere in Africa that you think, as a family, I think this would be an amazing experience?
So we're hoping to go to Jamaica.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to go. I don't want to say what for, but something like it's a celebration, a family celebration, basically.
Yeah.
So we're hoping to go to Jamaica.
Nice.
I want to go to Jamaica. I want to go to St. Lucia. I want to go Barbados. I'm going to do one of them next year.
Okay.
With the girls.
Plus the family.
Yeah, and the family. Yeah. Because girls trip and family trip is very different. Mom's gonna be carrying on about, can you really wear that? Do you think you're wearing that? I can see you, ma'am. Relax. So I definitely want to. I really want to go to like certain places in the Caribbean.
All right, take away black countries.
Is Maldives a black country?
I don't know, you know.
Because Maldives, you know, there's places where the water is so blue, but that's like honeymoon. I want to go, like Bora Bora and stuff. That's honeymoon. When people talk about the wedding, I'm like, I'm looking forward to the honeymoon. I'm gonna go on a nice trip. I'm gonna have a wedding in Nando's so I can go on a nice trip. But what's that place called? Mauritius.
Oh, Mauritius.
Mauritius, that's it. I want to go there. It looks so beautiful.
Yeah.
I want to go to like those kind of places where it's just like the landscape, the nature of it all, the blue seas. It just looks like it's AI generated. Those places.
But you know what's funny though, yeah? Everyone I've heard like mention every now and again, just pop up in certain conversations, that the best sea, like clear, blue, whatever, is Mexico.
Really?
Yeah. I was shocked when I first heard it too.
That's shocking.
I remember Mark said it the other day as well.
Really?
Yeah. I think he said it.
Yeah, but it's been to Mauritius and Maldives. I need people who have been to all these places to then tell me this is the... Because if you're comparing it to flipping Tenerife, well, duh. Of course it's going to be the bluest you've ever seen.
Yeah, true.
But, yeah.
What about you, Brent?
Just typed in where the clearest beaches, crystal clear waters. First thing is Devon.
Devon?
Devon? Okay.
Well, are they comparing that to what, local swimming pools?
Did you ask Bard?
I
only trust Bard now.
Let me show you this.
I feel like I only trust Bard's opinions.
These are all from the UK.
No, around the world, man.
No, you know what the thing is though? You know what? Let me give some respect to Devon and that. Yeah.
Oh, is that Devon?
These are all pictures from the UK.
Yeah,
UK,
I might have to do
UK Isles.
I'll be honest with you. Like, certain parts of the UK are very nice. Devon is one of them.
What is that one? Isle of something. One of the isles.
Isle of Wight. Is it what?
It's because there are no blacks there.
There might be, you know. No, I'm joking.
I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Coming from the new black. I don't know what that's supposed to mean.
No, it's a really nice place, man. Just calm and yeah. And like, even from
Dorset.
here.
Oh yeah, I've had Dorset. It's nice.
Torquay and them places. Exeter and all that.
See, I would love to go and just go on like hikes, like daily hikes.
Cornwall.
But that's the thing. I'm scared. I'll be honest here. Places like this I want to go to in the UK. But because there's not many black people there. So remember that girl, that Blessing girl, that turned up dead? She went to like, I think she was in one of these like remote, these places where there's not a lot of black people, these kind of towns or whatever. And she found her dead body by the beach.
In the UK?
In the UK.
Wow.
She was missing for time. And then they found her phone and her slippers. And she was on the phone to her boyfriend, I believe, at the time. And she was a midwife. She was like a student, like a nurse. She was on placement or something like that. So that story always stuck with me. This is like 2 years ago. Wasn't that long ago. This is when around that time Richard was missing as well. And that black boy that was found, I think he was found in the woods or something like that. That black boy, and he was in his room, and his parents didn't know he was missing, and then they went to drop him food, and then it was a whole thing. Richard Ogo something, Nigerian boy. But yeah, so that's the thing. I would want to go in these places like a solo trip, but I'm just like, boy, I have to share my WhatsApp location.
You know what the thing is though? I think some of these places, yeah, some because there's a difference, right? Some of these places are bona fide racist places, right? Yeah. But some of them are just they're just not familiar with seeing black people, and so it's almost like they just look at you, mind their business, but they don't trouble you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
but that's the thing though. Like, as a black woman, like I'll have braids. I'll wear something that shows figure. That stuff draws attention. Because even when I went to Cyprus the other day, my friend had braids like long to like her, was it like her thighs or something like that? And literally, they just kept staring and staring.
How was it that long though?
It's just banging. Brains that long is banging. That's how long Gina's was when she came.
Serious?
Yeah.
That's mad long, you know.
Oh, that's
Ain't that
proper
an
long.
inconvenience?
It is, but you get used to it. But do you get me? So like, there's things about black features that attracts them. Like even the way our skin glows in the sun,
Yeah.
they're attracted to that. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful sight.
Yeah, 100%.
But I don't know, man.
But that's the thing, they kind of would watch you. And also, a lot of these places just got older people.
yeah.
So they kind of just mind their business, and you know what I'm saying? But
You're a
some
beautiful
places...
coloured person, they'll say.
But yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. But yeah. Okay. Well, should we get into the show?
Let's do it. All right, so our first headline, again, this is another update on the situation, the back and forth with Mr. Boris Johnson. So, apparently, Mr. Rishi Sunak has refused to back down in the extraordinary row over Boris Johnson's messages, as his government launched legal action against the COVID inquiry in a last-ditch attempt to protect the material. Mr. Sunak was accused by Labour and the Lib Dems of a cover-up and a cowardly attempt to obstruct the inquiry, while former Civil Service Chief Robert Kerslake told the Independent they are in a hole and they should stop digging. The Cabinet Office will seek a judicial review of inquiry chair Baroness Hallett's demand to release the former Prime Minister's WhatsApp messages and notebooks. It revealed the unprecedented move in a letter to her team. The department said it was bringing the legal challenge with regret, but insisted that the important issues of principle were at stake. It claimed that the request by the inquiry amounted to an unwarranted intrusion into other aspects of government work, as well as into expectations of privacy. Do you feel like these people are harassing Boris Johnson too much?
Yeah, man, it's enough, man.
Should we just forget?
They
about
just
the
leave the man
situation?
alone. Like, everyone just move on. This is what they spend the taxpayers' money on when there's a cause that lives.
Thank you very much.
Stupid investigations.
You know, if it is that you don't forget what he's done, there's no record of his wrongdoings for when he comes back.
But do you know what's mad though, Brent? There's records now, and this man could still come back.
It's true, Brent.
No, it's not true. no, we must not forget. We must never forget.
Lest we forget.
Never again.
So, Brent, would you prefer Starmer?
Dan Boris Johnson?
Yeah.
100%.
Serious?
Yes, I'm sorry.
No, you know.
Alright.
I'm not sorry at all. 100%.
All right, you know what? Hypothetical. Sadiq Khan or Boris Johnson?
Mr. Sadiq.
What? Serious?
Yep, sorry. You know how wicked this guy...
Khan, yes.
No, I'm talking about Boris.
You know how
He
much
was
money he takes from us?
solely responsible for Brexit.
That's not fair.
Solely responsible for Brexit.
That's not fair, bro.
You know, he used to be a anti-Brexit campaigner.
I mean, we all change our minds sometimes.
It's
Yeah, but that's big thing in your mind.
Nah, that guy, he lied too much and he was too racist for my liking.
You don't think it was Farage that did much more damage with Brexit?
Brother Farage wasn't running the country.
True, 100%. But no was Boris, though, at the time.
He was. He was literally wheeling and dealing in the back scenes.
No,
Farage
you
was not
can't
doing
say
that.
That's not fair. That's not fair, Brent.
But I can't have revisionist. Sorry, I remember everything that dude did. Everything.
All right, fair enough. All right, so our next headline, and trigger warning here of SA, a formal complaint has been submitted to Labour about the behaviour of a suspended MP that goes by the name of Geraint Davies. Earlier, the Labour Party said that he had been suspended following incredibly serious allegations of completely unacceptable behaviour. According to the news website Politico, he is accused of subjecting younger colleagues to unwanted sexual attention. The MP for Swansea West told Politico he did not recognise the allegations. Mr Davies had been administratively suspended from the party pending an investigation into the allegations. This means he cannot sit as a Labour MP while the investigation is going on. And although he remains a member of the Parliament for Swansea West and also will sit as an independent. The allegations, which go back to at least 5 years, include excessive drinking, as well as sexual comments and unwanted touching of younger women, according to this website, Politico. Some of the individuals said that they had discussed his behaviour with Labour whips, who were in charge of party discipline. And the last headline takes us to America, where the US Congress has approved a deal to lift the country's borrowing limit, days before the world's largest economy is due to default on its debt. The bipartisan measure sped through the Senate by a vote of 63 to 36 a day after it cleared the US House of Representatives. President Joe Biden has said that he will enact the measure into law. His signature on the bill will spare the US from a catastrophic default on its $31.4 trillion debt. The country is forecast to overshoot its current debt ceiling on Monday, the 5th of June. And that's it for the headlines.
Thank you. Let's get into what are you saying?
All right, people. So today's topic of the day, yeah. I feel like I say this every now and again, right? But I feel like this might be a quick one. Or it might be one where it's like, oh, we're on different sides and whatnot. Mm-hmm. But I was watching an interview with Piers Morgan yesterday, I believe.
Yeah.
With this teacher that we spoke about on the show, actually, on 2 or 3 occasions, actually. This is the guy who was teaching a class and refused to use the pronouns of a transgender person in his class.
Because a student?
Yes.
Okay.
And he's a devout Christian.
Okay.
So he was like, look, this is against my, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Also, he did explain that at the time, he was just kind of just ignorant of this new thing. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, I think they must have did something well. I can't remember too well, right? But I think they did something well. And he congratulated both of them. 2 women, two girls. A girl and a transgender boy.
Yeah.
So he was like, something. I don't know. He said something to do with the her and the she and something, right?
Yeah.
The traditional female pronouns, right? And one of them corrected him, the transgender boy, obviously, and said, oh, I'm not a her or she, I'm a he. Mm-hmm. And he was confused. It was like, no, obviously, like, you're not type thing, innit?
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, don't refer to me as a he or a him or whatever. Then he was like, okay, cool. He rephrased the sentence and just called her by her name. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Right? And the person just got upset. They told the headmaster. Long story short, he got sacked. He hasn't been teaching for, I believe it's like 4 or 5 years now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and he said, like, obviously he refuses to go back and start changing this type of thing, right? So I say all of that just to give some backstory. That we spoke about him on the show before. And also, like I said, he was on Piers Morgan yesterday, or at least I saw it yesterday. Yeah. And the question came up about whether his personal beliefs, because regarding this whole transgender thing, Piers Morgan agreed with him. He's like, I really don't understand why people really should be policing people's language like this, right? But you as a devout Christian, you've got your own website now, and there's 4 abominations on your website.
Okay.
And I think this is where me and you have to be on separate sides of the fence.
Yeah.
And so he says, based on your website, as a devout Christian, at least your sect of Christianity, these are the 4 abominations he has. Abortion, right?
So the guy doesn't believe in abortion?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Homosexuality. Okay. Porn. And Islam.
Okay.
So these are the 4 things that he's against.
Yeah.
Totally up to him, this and the third, right?
Absolutely.
But Piers Morgan then said to him, because of these things, I can understand why we shouldn't necessarily allow you to be a teacher. And so that's where this whole topic of the day stems from. Do you feel like people's personal beliefs, right, should kind of should be a stumbling block for the type of career they want to pursue?
No, I don't think it should be, unless they're inciting hate.
Okay.
And I think with Piers, it's interesting that he would say, I agree with the whole teacher thing.
Yes.
But this here is where I draw the line. Because that's what everyone does. When it's something that's personal to you, all of a sudden now you're on different sides. But really and truly, this principle can be applied to everything.
Yeah, 100%.
Do you get what I mean? But I don't think that people should have to conform to how everyone else thinks. I believe that each person has whatever rights they have to believe whatever it is they want to believe. However, I am very much against inciting hate on people based off the fact that they believe differently to you.
100%.
So if someone tells me that the pronouns is, if they look like a boy to me and they tell me no, my pronouns is she and her, that's what you want to be called by and that's what I will call you. Okay. As a Christian, that does not take away... I don't feel convicted about that, personally. And I've known that obviously with each thing, if you feel convicted, you respond to whatever. But I personally don't feel convicted about it because I can't impose on somebody else what that identity should be. I'm not your maker. That is between you and he who created you. And at the same time as well, it's one of those things where it's selective. So I can't then say, no, being gay is wrong. Okay, but the pastor's an adulterer. Okay, but this person was an ex-killer, or this person is a fornicator. So this person's a liar. This person's a no thief, or we're stealing the church funds. We're not going to address those sins, but this is this one thing you want to address, and that's always my thing. So I don't believe that. I do believe that if you're convicted and you feel like, that's not something that's comfortable for me, find a medium. Just address them by their name then, if that's difficult for you. I can understand that. But I think when you start to incite hate, that's the issue. So I have no problem with if there was someone who did not like black people being a teacher.
Yeah.
As long as I don't feel that you hate black people.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
To be fair to Piers Morgan, first thing is, his issue was mainly when the teacher delved into his Christian views.
Yeah.
And basically he said, Piers basically said, I'm a Catholic. I know the Bible, this and the third. And I know that certain times, I know at certain times, people kind of, the punishment for these particular sins was death. Are you basically, he said this to the teacher, are you advocating for death? And the teacher basically said, to be fair, he was kind of conflating certain things, right? And he was kind of pushing the teachers back against the wall. But the teacher basically said, I believe all of these things, the justification for all of these things is death. But Christ has come because, Christ has taken our place.
Yeah.
That's why none of these things occur. Yeah. Piers is forgetting the Christ thing. He just keeps saying, so you're saying somebody who gets an abortion should just die. And this is where we draw the line, right?
Yeah.
But that aside, when you mentioned the whole thing about the pronouns thing, do you not feel as though if you're telling me I should call you a he and she, but biologically, sex-wise, you are, a she, but you're telling me I need to call you a he, and you conform to that, like some of your freedom has been taken away?
No, because if I met you and you said to me, I met you, Brent calls you E-Man.
Yeah.
You say to me, no, don't call me E-Man. My name's Femi. I will call you Femi.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? I feel like when it comes to people's identities, if this is how you want to be referred, if this is how you want me to, then yeah, I will do that. When people meet me and they're like, oh, hey, you don't know me like that. Esther. Do you know what I mean? It's just how it is. So I don't feel like that. For me, it doesn't take anything away. I feel like there's a lot of emphasis on, they're taking our rights. It's like, your freedom to what? What did you want to use this freedom for? What is it that you get if the person tells you that I'm a he now, we want to call them she? Like, what does that do? How does that change your existence today?
I think it's more so the fact that you're forcing me to do something.
It's not forced though. I'm just telling you how I prefer to be referred to.
But that's what I'm trying to say. Like, based on the English language and based on what we grew up knowing for years and years, right? Since the beginning of time, or since we got consciousness as human beings, we've known things to be he and she, right? And you're telling me overnight, especially from the perspective of the teacher, overnight, I'm totally ignorant to this new thing. And you're telling me you are now a he.
Yeah.
But I know you to be a she, at least biologically, right? And you're telling me I have to do this. Like you said, like if I choose not to, because again, this is contrary to what I believe, right? And I just refer to you by your name, surely that's enough. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, then I would, if I was trans and someone did not want to call me by my pronoun and they refer to me by my name, that's fine. But you're still addressing me.
Exactly.
But I think sometimes it's that people don't want to address people by their pronouns, by their preferred pronouns, but then they go into like a whole spiel about why they don't want to, and now you're making that. Don't make me feel uncomfortable. Bro, either address me how I want to be addressed, or bye. It's just like that. I feel like if I say there was a childhood friend I had, or a cousin I had, and I've always called them wherever I've called them, and I meet them and they're like, do you know what, actually, I've changed my name to this. This is what the name I want everyone to address me by. Would everyone not conform to that?
But isn't name different to sex though? Because one at least, again, based on our, like, we can change our names. We just need to do the deed thing, right? And it's done, right? Passport and all that. But sex is like a biological, like, fact. At least.
But I'm not looking into. I'm seeing that as identity. When people say it's like I identify as this, if that's how you identify, I just don't think it's that deep for me to fight you on it.
Yeah.
Like a lot of I just like peace, man. So for me, like it's not worth fighting, like unless it's literally infringing on my well-being. It's no skin off your nose to just call someone by what they want to be addressed as. It's just like I personally don't see the fight.
But I think it's because a lot of things in just like everyday human interaction, right? Based on history as well, everything starts small. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like there's a small infringement on your rights.
Yeah.
Then your freedoms take away. Then they start doing this. This is why people are against the whole COVID thing. Why are you telling me I have to wear masks now? Why are you telling me the whole 2
Because you're
thing?
gonna die.
Yeah, but we come to find out that a lot of these things wasn't really.
Yeah, but they didn't know that at that time. That COVID one they didn't know at the time. I don't know. You people, you elect leaders, you put leaders in place to govern the land, right? When COVID happened, COVID had never happened before.
Yeah.
And, well, to our knowledge. And they were trying to navigate it. So, do you know what? While we're trying to figure out what this is, let's try this. Let's try this. For me, like, the people who are in power were wearing masks as well. So, what are you fighting for? I just feel like sometimes with human beings, like, people just don't like peace, just have to fight things. Why are you fighting when we're hoping this can prevent death? Why would you want to fight that?
Because we know that based on history, like some of these people, like you said, that we've elected have lied to us. And some of these lies have brought about the death of certain people. So, for example, look at the vaccines and stuff. Yeah. Like, you told us before that by taking this vaccine, it's going to prevent the spread. Yeah. People have forgotten all that, right? Yeah. It doesn't do any of that.
And I think that's the issue, though. I feel like that's the issue with politicians, is that they should just come like, listen, we're figuring this out. I feel like they try to give people too much confidence, and that's what bites them back in the bum. Because if you let people know that, you know what, this is what we've been advised to do, and so we're going to try this because we believe this is what we believe and hope the outcome will be, then yeah. But when you say things as a definite, when it doesn't work out, then yeah. But we say all of that anyway. People end up voting the same person in. So what are they fighting for? I think that's my thing, is that people fight, only to not take a stand. To not take a stand. I was going to say stand. Only to not take a stand. And so where do you go from there? You just keep on fighting.
But this is the thing, though. I think some people are now recognizing that, wait a minute, I'm realizing that my freedoms are being eroded. Like, what's actually going on here? Because to me, I feel there's a difference between you telling me not to do something and you telling me I have to do something. Yeah. And you telling me I have to call you a she, for example, or call you a billy goat, or whatever it may be, right? And I don't subscribe to that. It's different to you telling me, I don't want to be called by this. Yeah. And I can call you something else. I can call you a name. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because I don't want to offend you. But don't tell me I have to do something against what I know to be correct English. Okay, so you know what I'm saying?
So someone says they look like a woman, but they say I'm not a woman. I identify as a man. Call me he. How is this escalating to infringing your freedom? How is addressing one individual that you just met today by he?
Because that could spread.
Spread to where?
Spread to other people who think this way. And so in society now, we are now addressing people who are women as he.
He's, yeah.
And like, why are we doing this? When we know biologically, we're taught this in school.
Yes, that's fine. Yeah. So how does this now infringe on your personal life?
Because you're telling me, you're forcing me to do something.
No, but listen, God, the heart of man is wicked. I'm not understanding, because you know what is it? The heart of what is it? You know when human beings we're just automatically, because you said A, no, I want B. No, but there's no reason, because really and truly, someone's saying, call me a he. I am struggling to understand what that takes away from you.
Again, it's the freedom.
Freedom of what, though? What? To address people as however you feel?
No, freedom to just be a fully functioning, autonomous human being that God has given me.
How does that infringe on that?
Because you're telling me I have to do something. That, for example...
Well, you know, like what I'm telling you need to do is about my freedom and my life and my identity.
But this is the thing. It starts there. You remember, you're not the only one...
Where's it going?
This is where people don't know.
And so because they don't know, they're acting on the unknown, and so they're then fighting for their freedom, infringing on someone else's freedom.
Because you have to remember, it's not even though you don't necessarily know where it's going to go, you understand there's an element of control there. You know what I'm saying? And that to me is one of the worst things. Like, of course, we can kind of stress the particular example, right? Yeah. But control, it goes down into other things, like colonialism. It goes into slavery. It goes into all these things where you as a human being who God gave free will to, you as a human being is trying to take it from me. Why?
But what are they taking from you, though?
Based on something that as society we haven't necessarily agreed upon or even established as a truth.
No, but how many things did society consult you about before they agreed on it? You were taught these things.
Yeah.
And so society has taught people a lot of things that they've then untaught you and said, actually, no, what we told you, no, don't listen to that. This is the new wave. People would accept change in every single thing they do, except when somebody tells you this is how I want. Like, it's funny to me because it's like, it's a hill that no one wants to die on, but also it's people making themselves main characters in someone else's story. This story of using someone's pronoun, it's not about me, it's about them.
But it becomes about you if now I'm saying to you, Esther, you have to address me like this.
Because it's about me. It's still not about you. It's about me.
Okay, what's this?
Because I feel disrespect when you address me. It's like it's someone in their culture, they just insult people. And then they meet you and you're saying, and then you some people like that they're just, that insults are not what insults will be in certain places. So for them, calling you like a fool, or idiot, or this and that is casual, like, hey, fool, kind of thing, right? That's the thing. They meet you now and they say, oh, and you say to them, I don't appreciate you calling me a fool. And then now they're saying to you, no, you're infringing on my freedom to call you whatever I'm going to call you.
No, but that's different. You're telling me not to do something. You're not telling me to do something.
No, but you need to understand that in their society, the same way you've been raised to believe he, she.
Yeah.
Because in some cultures, there's no genders, by the way, but that's a conversation for another day. But that is a fact that does exist if we read wide enough.
Okay.
But in some cultures, that's how they've been raised. That's how they've been socialized. So now you're saying, no, you can't say this and that. How is that infringing the freedom?
But because, like, again, right, it's about understanding what people. Okay, I'll give you a practical thing. Obviously, I don't want to go left with it, right? But again, the 5%ers, right? For those who don't know, so the simplest way to describe the group, the 5%ers, are they're kind of like a fringe group of the Nation of Islam, right? And they believe that the black man, civilized, when he has knowledge of self, this, that, and the third, is God. If I come to you and say, Esther, my name is Supreme God, right? And I want you to address me as Supreme God. Will you do that?
Of course not.
Why?
Because that infringes on my faith. There's only one.
It's the same thing, Esther.
It's not the same. Please, let me silly.
Tell me why.
Pronoun, someone saying to you, I'm not a girl. If I said to you, I'm a he, address me as a he, that does not infringe on your faith or anything like that. But I'm telling you how to call me. And so if it's uncomfortable for me that the person who says they're supreme God or whatever, if it's someone like Charlemagne, I love Charlemagne, but I'm not calling Charlemagne any god. I'm not doing it.
Even though that's his name.
Even though that's his name, I say Charlemagne, and he's fine with Charlemagne.
No.
If you said you have to call me Charlemagne the God, I will have to find something. I would be like, okay, well, I would do whatever it is I can to avoid that. And that's what I'm saying. Like, yes, you don't want the pronouns, fair enough, because I don't think it's a hill to die on.
Yeah.
But address them by their name or something. But for me, it's that fight of, no, I shan't not do that. That's different. I feel like when it comes to faith is different to pronouns, in my opinion.
But this is, all right, this is the point I'm trying to make. Do you see how, for you, you can make that distinction and say, for me, faith is different to pronouns. For somebody else, faith is not different to pronouns. But in both scenarios, you're like requiring me to do something that you want me to do. You're not saying I can't do something. You're saying I must do something. So, for example, if you don't want to call me Charlemagne the God, you can call me Charlemagne, fine.
Yeah. Or Leonard.
Or Leonard, right? But if I'm saying to you, no, call me Charlemagne the God, or don't call me at all, go about your business, this, that, and the third.
I'm going about business.
But this is what I'm trying to say to you. So in that same classroom setting where the guy is saying, well, okay, I don't see you as a he, I'm just going to call you by your name, which is Rebecca, or this is, or Valerie, or whatever it may be, right? Why does this have to escalate to a headmaster? Yeah, but did it force me to call you a he when I don't see you as a he? But do you get where I'm coming from? Like, I get what you're saying. I'm not going to offend you and call you a she, but don't tell me I have to call you a he. Because that's where the freedom part is taken away from me, where you're forcing me to do something.
I don't know, man. I get what you're saying. Yeah. It makes sense. However, I just think when it comes to this whole pronoun thing, and when it comes to the transgender stuff, I've never had anyone I've never had anyone be able to explain to me why they don't want to address people how it is they want to be addressed, and it's gone off. It's not rooted in some kind of my freedom's been taken away, but they can never explain to me how your freedom's been taken away. I need to understand how it is. Like, the reality of it is that people are uncomfortable with what they're seeing. That's the reality. This whole argument about is taking away my freedom. It is not taking away your freedom. There's a lot of things people do that is really taking away your freedom. All these terms and agreements you're signing up to when you do the apps, all these all these contracts you sign, all that stuff, your freedom is taken away. The fact that people even think they have some kind of freedom, but but he and she, her, him is where you really want to exercise. They, them is where you want to exercise the freedom. It's funny to me. I've never had someone be able to explain to me and let it make sense to me how calling someone, how addressing somebody, how they want to be addressed is taking away the freedom. I feel like comparing the God to he and she is so different, because with God, that's beyond everybody. But for me, he and she is not the hill to die on.
But Esther, see, that's the thing. Like you said, it's maybe not the hill to die on.
No, it's not maybe. It's 100% not a hill to die on.
Okay, cool. It's not the hill to die on, right? But you have to understand it as, to you, see how you made that distinction and said, the God thing for me is different. It really isn't different. It's really just a case of, you know what? For me, I only want to give that title of God to my God.
Yeah, but you know that God thing is God's identity.
Yeah, but it's my identity as God.
No. It's God's.
Do you get where I'm coming from, though?
But it's God's identity. Sorry, caller. It's God's identity as God.
Yes.
And because I believe there's the sovereign God, that's it. Yeah. That is to do with God's identity. It's got nothing. It's it doing with me is to do with God.
Okay.
Someone's identity, it's got nothing to do with you. It's to do with them. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. I'll come back to that. Let's speak to the caller.
Morning, caller.
Good morning, caller.
Morning, y'all. It's Stacy.
Hello, Stacy. You all right?
Hey, yeah, I'm good. So I just feel like this whole pronoun thing, to be honest, I think everybody, was pretty resistant to it as it was coming to its rise, because obviously it's different. Like, it's challenging our language norms. But when I say that, like, I don't understand why people choose to die on this hill of using people's preferred pronouns, truly, like, I think it's really a battle of people wanting to project their own beliefs onto people whose beliefs don't apply to them. Like, if I say, in the example that you gave about somebody wanting to be called Supreme God, if you use Supreme, I guess there's a neutral there. So that kind of loops into the question I really called to ask that I put in the chat a few minutes ago. In this specific situation where, say, you're a teacher, right? And just to be clear, like, I think if you're in a position like being a teacher or being a doctor, where you have your job, the bane of your job should have absolutely nothing to do with your views. If you are somebody who is, like these white people who want to erase slavery, but you're teaching history, I'm so sorry, you and your views need to sit down somewhere. You better do the job and teach what actually historically happened. If you're a doctor and you're a Christian and, your patient needs an abortion and that's against your views, but for the sake of their health, you have to do it, I beg, do your job, But on the topic of this pronoun thing, would it be seen as offensive if, say, this teacher, if they don't see, was the student a trans woman or a trans man?
Trans boy. So, yeah.
So originally a woman, but became a boy.
Yeah.
If the teacher opted to use they, them pronouns instead of him, his pronouns, would that be seen as offensive? Because linguistically, like, it's neutral. So in the mind of the teacher, they're not identifying you with either. But would, like, somebody who, the trans boy, like, would they then be correct in, like, being like, no, I want you to call me he, him, his versus they, them, theirs? Do you see what I'm saying here?
Yeah. But
like, is there not a way to go about this pronoun thing in a way that's like, okay, I'm not calling you by the pronouns that are of the opposite gender, but it's a neutral ground here where I'm actually not identifying you as either? Yeah,
I think that's a good question. Yeah, but again, and I say this respectfully, right? Honestly, right? But I don't think the whole neutral thing matters. I don't think real English grammar and neutral this, that, and the third means anything. I think it's just down to what that person wants. If they identify as she and her, I think they just want she and her. You can't now tell me, okay, I'm going to give you a lukewarm
she and
one.
Her, they, them, theirs is if you tell me, I gave it to them, and someone says them who, and then you say Stacy, am I crying? Like,
no, but Stacey, you're making sense of
language.
It. That's what I'm saying. But you're making sense of something. Again, I don't mean this disrespectfully, but I think the issue is in a lot of these situations with the pronouns, it just doesn't make sense to the average person. So I don't think it's a case of, if we just use the neutral, they'll be happy with that.
Yeah, I don't think there's a neutral.
Yeah,
I think if someone
they
says
want something,
they're he or him or she, her.
No, but I'm not saying that should be their standard pronouns. Obviously, everybody can determine what they prefer. But I'm saying in the event of these quote unquote devout Christians, which to me I think is really nonsense because in my mind God said, "Come one, come all." You know, like, is it not a common ground, because I'm not asking anyone to compromise on their preferred pronouns, but say I was a devout Christian. This is not me. I'm speaking hypothetically, right? Like, and I just cannot bring myself, for the sake of the faith that I'm claiming, to call someone a pronoun that doesn't align with their gender assignment at birth. Am I wrong to use a neutral gender pronoun, which is something that we used in English language prior to the whole rise of what you identify as, instead?
Yeah. I personally would think, there'll be nothing wrong with that. But again, I can't speak for that community. And
but do you see how there's a parallel here? Like, both sides are then, like, the battle then becomes each side projecting their views.
Yeah.
If I'm saying I'm not going to call you by your preferred pronouns due to my faith, and I use a gender neutral pronoun, like, I personally don't believe in. This is not me speaking again. It's hypothetical. If I'm said teacher and I say to that child, listen, due to my faith, I don't really believe in the whole pronoun identity thing, but I am okay calling you they, them, their. And, that's them not necessarily projecting their views, but them asking for respect for their religion. Would the trans person be right to say, but no, I'm he, him, his? Or is that also doing the same thing, projecting their views? You see what I'm saying? By, like, it's a battle of people projecting their views on other people who are not. People should not. There shouldn't be an expectation for anybody to absorb views that are not theirs.
Exactly.
James, I do think, though, that if people said, do you know what, I can't call you that because it's like it convicts me in my religion or whatever it is. I think if you explain to people can be understanding. The issue is that people are met, as in, like, trans people or anybody else from the community is met with hostility. And so now your back is up, their back is up. Now it's not a conversation to be had. I really do believe if you actually say that to people understand that. Do you know what I mean? People understand your faith, people understand your beliefs. And I think if you explain to them that, do you know what, because of my beliefs, I feel convicted if I say that. Do you mind if I just call you by your name?
Yeah.
That'll be fine. But when you don't do that, you're like, I'm not calling you that. Of course, their back is going to be up.
Like
it is that.
In this day and age, the same vim that these devout Christians have, a lot of the people who identify with different pronouns, this is my opinion, sometimes have the same energy of not being willing to talk about it. And that's why I'm posing the question. I'm not on any side in particular. I am genuinely curious. Like, I wonder if that's a point of offense if, somebody's in a position where because of their faith, they can't necessarily, they just don't want to, like, they can't do that. Like, is there a common ground here?
Yeah.
Anyway, that was my question.
Thanks,
Stacey.
Right, Marks?
Oh, go on then.
I've got a question to you quickly, do you feel...
You think I know what you're talking about?
No, I'm about to tell you.
Right, go on.
Do you feel like your personal beliefs, should kind of hinder you from pursuing a particular profession?
Where's this stemming from? What happened?
Okay, so basically, there was just... Yeah, we spoke about him on the show before. A guy who... something happened in class, congratulating these two girls, right? And one of them said, no, I'm not a she or her, I'm a he. Obviously, in his mind, he's thinking, what are you talking about, right? Because obviously, this is someone who's now transitioning to a boy. And he's like, okay, I'm not going to call you a he, obviously, you know what I'm saying, because you look like a girl to me, but I'll call you by your name instead. That person refused and was like, no, I'm a he, so if you're going to refer to me, call me a he or his, or whatever it may be, right? And so that's what got him sacked, right?
He got sacked?
He got sacked, yeah, because he refused to conform to that, right? But in addition to that, because this was based on an interview he had with Piers Morgan, Piers Morgan said, because he's a devout Christian, this guy, and he was like, doing all of that stuff goes against my religious beliefs. But he's got a website, and on his website, he has something that he labels abominations, coming from his, particular sect of Christianity, whatever he believes, right? And he says, these 4 abominations are abortion, homosexuality, porn, and Islam. Now, Piers Morgan's basically said, I'm agreeing with you based on the whole trans thing, because I believe a lot of these things is just a fad anyway, right? But regarding these 4 abominations on your website, I feel like it's dangerous for someone like you to be in a position of power teaching the kids, because how can you call these things abominations? You know what I'm saying? And so that's basically where it stems from. Do you feel like your personal beliefs, even though you're not necessarily espousing these particular things in your particular work setting, should prevent you from, working in that particular setting?
No. Not if you're not.
Not if you're not spreading it and stuff.
Yeah, if you're not spreading that rhetoric and all that, and you're just doing a job, because everybody's got personal beliefs. But people do jobs, and we don't know what they do and believe in their spare time. So if they can deliver, then
Okay.
if it affects their job, then I suppose that's different, isn't it?
Is it more so a case of not knowing what they do in their personal time then, as opposed to what they're doing in their personal time?
Why are you saying? Because if people find out certain things, then it'll be an issue.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, but that's with everybody though. People could lose their jobs for things that they do in their spare time, like bare people. It's just no one just don't know what they do in it.
Is that fair though? Do you think?
Well, it is fair because everybody's afforded the same thing
Okay.
across the board, isn't it? Everybody's afforded their private life. Sometimes things happen where it spills out into the public. You get what I'm trying to say? That can obviously, but for the most part, everybody's afforded that. When everybody goes work, all of us here, when we leave here now, we do whatever we're doing. That's in the name of fairness, isn't it? We're all afforded that. So whatever we're doing is what we're doing, isn't it? If it don't spill over into our work or affect our content over we're doing.
But that's the thing though. Like to him, this is not spilling over into his teaching. He's just thinking, this is my personal beliefs as a Christian. When I'm in the class,
But it kind of did because he got fired for it.
but that was more so because of him refusing to use the pronouns of the trans.
But you know what it is as
And
well,
that's
yeah?
why it spilled into it, because obviously he's got his religion and all that, but if it was for work, just for the sake of work and for him cutting a check, and it's a student, he's a teacher, you would think that at some point you just go, all right then, brother. You get what I'm saying? Like, and just crack on. But he was so devout and so not going to move, he got fired for it. So it did spill over into his work.
Yeah, I hear that. I guess. Sorry, Esther, go.
No, because I was gonna agree with that, and that it did go into his work. Because obviously at work, there's a certain way you need to behave and blah 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 blah. And I think it's a case you just have to adhere to the rules of said workplace. So if as a teacher, yes, it goes against his moral beliefs or whatever, but you have to if it's that serious for you, and if that's the hill that you really want to die on, you have to find another career where you can do whatever you want. But unfortunately, there's that's a fight he's got to fight personally. Do you want to be a teacher, or do you want to address people however you feel like you're within your rights to? Then you've got to find another career.
Even if, for example, let's just say he was better at keeping these particular things like under wraps, yeah, and he's like, I'm only teaching the curriculum, right? And this whole thing with the pronouns never happened, and he was getting Teacher of the Year. Like, and somebody stumbled across his Facebook page or his website, right? Yeah. Should he be sacked for that though?
Yes. If he's saying wild things on his page, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. 100%. 100%. And this is why I always tell people you can't be online on social media and think you can't be in certain jobs and think there will not be consequences for your bigotry online. There will be. Because whatever it is that you deal with when you clock out of here, you might not have had a reason to bring out the hate in the space. So if something happens, then everyone around you is unsafe who falls into the categories you don't like. If someone's racist online, if I had a doctor, and when I saw the doctor was so lovely to me and whatever else. But when I go on their page, they are inciting racism and I bring slavery back. I might piss them off one day. And I don't know how they react. But even that, I'm sorry, but certain jobs, you cannot be facing the public in such a way where you got a duty of care to people and you have very harmful things. And not that you kept the harmful things inside of you, but you go online to spill it to whatever community that you believe in or whatever else you've got a band or a cult or whatever. Nope, you gotta go. It's unsafe. You got to go.
All right. So, happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride Month.
Hold up, we get some horns. You put on your mind, actually.
This is how we started it.
Right. Apparently, some people in the group think that you're being very, very unfair.
Oh, me?
Talking about a community that aren't present in the room currently. And
Where does that logic come from? That mindset.
And in the beginning of
you
of
can't
Pride
talk
Month.
because what's that mean? What's that
But
about?
if you tune into a show, if the loose women say there's no black women on it, tune in and they're talking about racism and all that kind of stuff, and there's not one black person in the room, would you not think where you took what are you talking from? What are you pulling this knowledge and whatever else you're talking from?
From life.
As a white woman,
Yeah, they're giving their opinion on something. It's just people who want to hear it or not.
I think with certain things I can work with, but not all things.
How though? This is how people have conversations, isn't it? So people have conversations in their spare time all the time. We're just having them we're just having them in public. People have conversations where they're not privy to certain information. They ain't got all the knowledge. We're just having conversations, human conversations that we're having. Do you get what I'm trying to say? That we're not always going to have representation of everything. We're telling you our opinions on things. We're not being bigoted or trying to force things on anything. We're just having a conversation about how we think, how we know. Some of us, like me, I've got ignorance. I ain't got all the knowledge. I don't know what I'm talking about. But these are real conversations, real things people think. You know what I'm trying to say? If we can't have the conversations in public, then what does it mean? Like, I don't understand. Like, because we're always gonna have representation of everything we do. We talk about fucking white people on there every day. There ain't no representation of them on there.
And it's never complained about.
It never gets complained about. Yeah. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, so I don't understand.
Period, boo.
Anyway, sorry.
Good morning. Is it Tariq?
Yeah, it's Tariq. All right.
Yeah,
How you doing, right?
You're right.
Yeah, I just wanted to chime in a little bit. I think, with the context of the question and also this incident that happened with that teacher, basically with the teacher, like, it wasn't just because he mispronounced, obviously with those students, but it was more to do with the fact that, like, his views outside of work. And one of the reasons why they obviously sacked him was because he brought, like, dispute into, like, the workplace. So I want to tread carefully here because obviously it's religious. Yes, obviously he can have whatever religious beliefs he has, but you cannot be having those views. And also, at times, it cannot come out into the classroom. He did say things about, like, gay marriage in the classroom and how that is wrong. Whether you believe that or not, that's not something that you should be putting onto the kids. That's your personal views. Do you know what I mean? And another thing as well, it's kind of interesting actually to see, like, the people that do agree with this teacher. But a few months ago when we were having a conversation about like gay rights or like teaching kids about sex education in the school, they're the same people, like, which is really interesting because at one point they don't want their kids to be taught in the school about like gay or different family dynamics, but you want this teacher to be able to freely just kind of express his views, his personal, like, whether it's religious or not, just, like, freely. Like, that should not be the case at all.
But Tariq, to be fair though, you remember he's not in the classroom talking about abortion to these young kids. He's not in there talking about Islam being bad and homosexuality being bad. This was just a case of this particular interaction kind of making him say, you know what, I refuse to call you this because you're telling me I have to do something. Also, in addition to that, he wasn't breaking the law. Remember, the law basically requires you to get, I believe it's the GRC certificate, right? When you've, like, gone through the proper channels to be considered a transgender person.
But that man legally is not. Even if the guy presents a certificate, that man is not calling him.
Okay, fine, but it's not fair for us to necessarily say he won't do it, right?
He wouldn't. He has a whole website where he speaks against these things. He's been fired. He hasn't worked as a teacher in 5 years. You really thought a piece of paper that said you must call Jordan a him was really what was going to play? Okay, forget Jesus. I'm going to call him him.
I'm not necessarily saying that, right? But what I am saying is that at least by law, as a teacher, adhering to law, there was nothing there making him have to address this person as a legitimate transgender man. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, if he hasn't done anything like this, Tariq, why are you saying it's the same as the other thing? He's not spreading no hate in the class.
Because it's, what made it to the news is this particular incident that happened. Okay. But I'm not sure if you want, like, he's been doing a tour, like, he's been on loads of different, like, interviews and that. And there's been other incidents where he specifically said out loud his views on certain things. So, for example, he did say about, like, how gay marriage is not right. in the classrooms. So there's been incidents. So he's been investigated, just not just for this particular incident about the transgender. There's been other situations. So my view on that is like he should not be in a classroom teaching and kind of expressing his views on like his personal views, whether it's religious, whether it's personal. Like to me, that should not be the case at all. Because I mean, with the 4 abominations that he had, one of them is like Islam, okay?
Yeah.
So what if like a kid in school like was to ask him a question about it and he's like, I do not agree with Islam, I think it's abomination, yeah? And there's like some Muslim kids in the classroom, like how would they feel? Are we going to have a different conversation just because we understand that, but we don't understand the whole transgender thing?
Okay, can I ask you this?
it's... Yeah, go on.
So if he never had the website, right? But he had the same views, would that be an issue?
I mean, if he can hide it well, then possibly we wouldn't know about it. But this is the thing, though. Like the school have investigated him, and that's the reason why, like, his website now all came out.
Yeah.
Like it's the same as like my workplace. If there's certain things that I cannot do in my workplace, and they saw it like on my social media and that, I'm gonna they're gonna pull me to one side, and I might potentially lose my job.
This
if
man
they don't
said,
find it and I'm using a burner account.
This man says Islam
obviously
is an
that's
abomination.
different.
He shouldn't be allowed to work nowhere.
Never work in this town again.
He shouldn't be allowed to work nowhere, bro. Like, this is wild. He shouldn't, because it's crazy. Like, he shouldn't be allowed to work nowhere. You can't be... Like,
He's got a lot of opinions. You know?
I'm not sure if he had the website up whilst he was a teacher, though.
Doesn't matter. He had them
He's
views.
been out of work for 4 years.
So he got fired for one thing, and he said, "I'm gonna create a website to let them know what I really think about the other matters
He's
of
had his
society."
website for a long time. Like he's had a website for a long time, and he's been. You know, this is the mad thing. You know what this guy does as well? Like on his weekends off, he's one of those guys that stands in the corner, like shouting about how we're all gonna die because we don't believe in Christ and that. Like those guys with the mics.
Yeah,
He does that on a regular basis.
evangelizing.
That's extremism. Don't do that.
But I just found it really interesting, like how the two camps, people that don't believe in transgender and that, are with this guy. But if his view was on a different thing, in terms of like how we should be teaching our kids about different aspects in society, they're really against that. And it's the same people, like, it's just really interesting to me. But like Esther was saying earlier, at the end of the day, if somebody wants me to call them he, she, whatever, it doesn't make any difference to my life. I'll call them what they want to be called. If I'm not comfortable with it, just call them by their name and get on with your day. And it's not going to make any difference to your day whatsoever.
And this is what the man did. The man refused to say you're he and called the person by their name. That's what he did.
Joyce is what I think, because he's a teacher, it makes it worse, because you've done this in front of the whole classroom. That kid probably getting bullied. Now you, like, whatever other kids might be bullying the kid. Obviously, I'm just going off on a narrative, but it's what happens in schools. Yeah. Kids get bullied for these things. And then now you're just like, you're meant to be the head of this classroom. And now you've publicly said, so if the teacher's not calling you that, why am I, a student who don't like you, going to call you that?
So, sorry, was that student transitioning or something?
Well, they said they're transgender.
Yeah, Marks, one of the students, like, he outed them as well. Like, not many people in the classroom actually knew. And it only came out, like, after the investigations were done. So that's a whole different conversation as well. Like, he literally just outed one of the students.
But I'm saying, you see for a teacher, yeah, if one of his female students, yeah, if he got into that altercation with a female student that was just identified as a woman the whole time, but then that day said to him, no, call me a brother, like, call me a man, call me him, and he didn't do it, would he still get in the same problem?
I think that's what happened.
He'll probably be investigated for it, but he hasn't done it maliciously or anything, so he probably wouldn't.
But I think that's what happened.
There wouldn't be any consequences, I don't think.
But I think that's what happened. That this person before was a girl.
But they don't. Yeah, but they're not. People are not born. They don't transition as soon as they come out of the womb. So it's going to happen on one day. He says, whatever day it happens, it starts here. Yesterday I wasn't that. Exactly. So
precisely.
It's not. Sorry. So it's not a thing where because it started today and I've met you today, you happen to address me today, and I've got my new identity. It doesn't hold weight just because yesterday. There's always going to be a yesterday when I wasn't what I am today. Yeah. So I don't think that's a thing.
So what? It is kind of, because if you come in there on Monday and look me dead in my eye, and say I'm a him,
there's something
there.
What's there?
I've been with you as her for ages. Like this.
Yeah, exactly.
Brother.
And so now
Like,
I'm
come
in
on.
him.
Yeah, no.
There was
it's
always
not-
going to be a yesterday, unless you knew me from birth. And when I came out the womb, I said, actually, mummy, I'm going to be a him. There's always going to be a yesterday. That's not valid.
Yeah, it is. If I've been with you the whole time and you just slam it on me, you gave me no time
Let's not argue something that we don't know happened because
I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about this.
I don't think this guy needed 5 days or
This is
25 days in order to say the same thing.
To say, okay.
That's not. I'm not talking about this
let's
person.
not
I'm
even
saying.
discuss
I'm
this.
He was
saying.
always going to do the same
I'm
thing.
saying
Yeah.
whether the pronouns matter because I'm asking you whether that student, whether he saw that student as a trans student or just as a boy or a girl or whatever beforehand, innit? Because the reason why I'm asking is because obviously if that was a trans student, I would have to respect their pronouns and their feelings or whatever. If it was a student that he saw every day and just saw it as a girl or whatever, and then he came
but you
in
know what you do as a teacher,
tomorrow
though?
and asked him, he as a human being, he might be like, why
that's
can't
the
he not
thing,
have to
though.
question
Although
that?
Because you're a
hypothetical.
teacher.
Forget that. This didn't happen. We weren't told this in Emmanuel's synopsis at the beginning. So let's not go there.
Go where I ask you a question.
Yeah.
It sounds as though
I mean-
it doesn't matter how long he
hold
knew, or
up,
if he
Tariq.
didn't know, he would still say the same thing.
This is it.
Was
He
he
got
gonna
fired
say
and then
what?
created the
Even argue
website.
this.
What you say? What?
His beliefs, what we found out,
Yeah.
it suggests even if it is he was told this is a such and such
In the beginning.
in the beginning,
Yeah.
say such and such, he would have still said no.
What
I'm
he
not
wanted to
doing
say,
it.
Yeah, that's fine. That's not my
his principles that he's standing on.
that's not my point.
That's
That-
the argument that we're
That's not the point that I'm making. I want to find out is if another one of his students just dealt with him like this tomorrow, would he still get in trouble? If it was just if he just
that's
woke
the
up out
thing.
of bed and said, "I just want to know," so
Listen,
I'm asking.
you're a teacher. What you do is, do you know what? Let's talk after lesson or something like that. You cannot embarrass a student in front of other people and then now be shocked that you're fired for it. Of course you'll be fired. You're a teacher. You have a duty of care to take care of these children, and that is their physical, that is their mental, that is their emotional, that is in every way that you can as a teacher, because you have a duty of care. So whether it's yesterday, whether it's lunchtime, you saw them at break time, now it's lunchtime, whatever the case is, you're a teacher and there's ways to handle things as a teacher, and he didn't handle it as a teacher, and he ought to be fired.
Exactly. And also as well, this incident triggered like the investigation, but it wasn't just an isolated incident. And this is what I mean. So he was like, obviously somebody must have complained about it, so they were investigating it. And then the deeper they went, that's when other incidents, so other students came out and said like, oh, he said this in the classroom, etc. And he was found that he broke the school rules.
Okay.
And that's the reason why he lost his job. So to answer the question of topic of the day, yes, whether it's like your dream job or not, if your views infringe on other people's day-to-day lives or then you should lose your job. He shouldn't be teaching, let's be honest.
Teachers have always put their views in their classroom. Teachers have always had their views. You know what your teachers think or where they're from. They've always and this obviously when it's different stuff, it's more accepted. Like I've had black teachers and that come and tell me stuff about black history and how people have always put in their views. This kind of thing wasn't an issue when I was going to school, so these kind of views wasn't really at the forefront. You know what I'm trying to say? That, but to say that our teachers shouldn't be able to have their views or whatever, if they have the job, you shouldn't do it. It's just because the kind of conversations that we're having now are a bit more contentious. But teachers have always put their views and instilled their beliefs into their classrooms and stuff like that.
But there's always people that haven't complained about that though. That's always been a complaint for people.
All right, guys, I'm gonna go now. Right.
Okay.
Thank you, Tariq.
Thanks, Tariq.
Yeah, that's true. That's not, but
I mean,
it doesn't matter about the subject. There's some parents who have been like, don't
They've always been
be
complaints.
don't be
Yeah, let me
doing
tell
your
my
thing
kids
with
stuff. Teach them what's in the curriculum.
Yeah.
And leave the opinions and whatever else to me at home.
But the point I'm making though, that thing's always been happening though.
Yeah.
Teachers have
Just
always been
some
doing
things
that.
are more dangerous. Because if there was a white teacher teaching black history and just it got abolished, but it wasn't that bad to get abolished. Come on.
Well,
Yeah, man.
this is definitely not a topic that I thought we'll finish. That will be done in 2 seconds, like I thought.
Yeah.
We may need to do a part 2 and go somewhere else with it, but due to time, I think we might need to wrap up, man.
Yeah.
Quick, whip round.
Yes.
Do you care to call people whatever they want to call?
Listen, if you want me, I'll call you whatever you want to call. Whatever you want me to call you. It's not a hill for me to die on. I have bigger problems in my life.
Is there any point asking you with your tag name?
What's my tag name?
Margs.
Maga the Pum Pum Father.
Yeah, I don't mind.
Killy.
Ridiculous.
I don't mind pronouns and them thing that don't bother me. I'm not gonna we can't. I don't even want to. I wouldn't even get into the argument. Like basically, if you want me to call you a woman or a man, yeah, then I could call you whatever you want. You can't make me think you're something, if that makes sense. Like, But I don't know if that would be happy. I don't know if that would be good enough.
Yeah.
It will be good enough because they just want you to address them how they want to be addressed. And as long as you're doing that,
Not if I say, I'll call you a girl, but you're definitely a brother.
yes, that's your problem. You have to say everything. You don't have to say that second part. You have to say the second part. You can't add that.
No, but that's what I'm on. I'm
Anyone
saying,
will have a problem with that.
exactly. That's what I mean. So it's not good enough then.
If you tell me I'm not finished, and I'm like, okay, I'll call you smart, but you're a fool to me.
Yeah, I'll call you smart as you want, but try and know you're dumb. I'm on that.
You know the bit that you added at the end.
Yeah.
For me, it's like me just shrugging and saying, okay. You see how you just added, but I think you're a man? When they say I should go in, I'll be like, okay, and just shrug and buy my business.
But you know he has to get it off his
I
chest.
can't.
You need to say it.
It can't stay in him.
You need to say it.
Ridiculous.
But I don't think you would say it in, let's say, Sky or the BBC or these particular places where you know full well that.
Oh no, you gotta toe the line.
Precisely.
Everywhere you go, you gotta toe the line.
And as a teacher, you should toe the line.
Well, Esther said it perfectly. It's a duty of care. It's a duty of care to protect as a teacher. You get what I'm trying to say? Like when parents send their kids to school, yeah, you're supposed to be protected, yeah, and it's like it's your physically, emotionally, mentally, everything. So don't be embarrassing my kid in front of the class, innit? You can pull him to one side or her to one side and have the conversation that you need to have, whatever. But you need to care about this student and my child's feelings, basically, first, because you're the teacher, you're the head, and if you can't do that, then you can't teach. That's it.
All
Period.
right. Ping, ping, ping. Animania?
No. I think.
Gosh.
Sorry. I think it infringes on my freedom.
For you towing the line?
Huh?
For you towing the line?
For you telling me I have to do something, I don't like that. If you tell me you don't want me to do something, then I won't do it because I don't want to offend you.
Okay, so they said I don't want you to call me her.
That's fine. I won't call you her.
How is that different?
No,
to call me him.
listen, you need to read between the lines. He's basically agreeing with everybody else. Us in the room, he's agreeing with us. He would toe the line. But don't make me don't try to make me believe.
Oh, okay,
it.
okay.
I will say it.
Okay.
But don't try to make me believe it.
Oh, right.
That's exactly what you said.
I mean, that's not what.
That's exactly what you said. That's exactly what you said.
Yes, exactly. Thank you, Brent.
You're welcome.
I don't know what you're thinking, Brent. Brent will lead you to
Brent understands.
to get slaughtered. The brain will be like, oh well. All right, let's get into next headlines.
Yeah, they're tussling, man.
So how do you have the conversation then? How do you have them kind of conversations? Everybody just wants to tussle. Like, what's the way to go about it?
I don't think there's a way to have a conversation without tussles.
Oh, there are a lot of people calling. Should I open the phone line?
Yeah, open
go
up.
off. Go off.
fine. I told you I
Cool.
I'm
Can
leaving
you
either
guys
way.
call again? Just keep it brief.
I got a manicure appointment.
I'll keep reading the headlines.
I got a meeting at 10:32. So but
No,
look,
you told me yesterday, but look what time you rolled in.
Yeah, I
That's
know.
wickedness.
I know.
Big evil killing.
You can't infringe on this freedom of when to turn up here.
Can you call again? Anybody who's call again, please. Call again quickly.
All right, I'll push the meeting back.
Yeah, see, I got squeezed in. I can push my back.
I don't believe him.
Well, our next headline, trigger warning here, and this is about Phillip Schofield. It's a bit more of an update. He had an interview. Okay, I'll pause that.
Okay.
Hello, caller.
Hold up. All right, cool. Run it.
Hello, caller.
Hello.
Good morning.
Hello, how are you?
Who are we speaking to?
Hi, it's Valerie.
Morning,
Hello,
Valerie.
How are you?
I'm okay. So I called in. I think my finger's behind. I'm watching you, but I can't hear myself, so I'm thinking, am I behind? So basically, I want to ask you guys a question. You see how we, like you're saying, we just have to, not have to, but let's just respect their views and what they want. And they're saying, oh, call me, I'm a female, but right now I'm a male. So can you direct me as a male, right? That's fine. No problem. Like Esther said, I don't like stress. Cool. My issue is when you're now telling me I'm the one that has to now identify as something when I don't choose to do that. Example, when they tell you that I have to identify as a cis woman rather than just a woman, or, oh, you've had a child, it's Valerie, so you can't call it breastfeeding, it's chest feeding. There's my issue there. Now you're forcing me to do what I don't want. If you want me to identify you as a penguin, that's your business. I'm gonna identify you as a penguin because you said so. But why are you telling me that I have to identify as something I didn't say I want to?
I think you made some very
Thank
good
you very
points there.
much, caller.
Thanks, Valerie.
Thank you for that question.
Bye.
I think you made a very good point there because I feel like at the same time, this is what I was talking about the freedom. If I give you this, what's next?
This is my friend. I said I would open up the phone lines. I didn't say that we should basically. All right, thank you very much.
Sorry.
Someone called man that the other day a cis smell. I said, "What's that? Is that new? How long's that been about for? What is that?
It's been a few
That's
years.
new, isn't it?
Yeah, a few years though. I think.
They say no, you're cis. And I'm like, what am I? Because
Who is this? So you calling
this?
sis?
Yeah.
I was like, what is this? What is that? Is that a thing?
Yeah. So
How come people could just make things up and then just make it a thing?
Because that's what society does. Everything we know, it's been made up before we got here. So we're just watching things get made up in real time. Everything that we know has been made up and was told to us when we were born.
Okay.
So we're just seeing it in
We're seeing it in real time now.
real time.
Your mother didn't call you Margs when you came out of her.
Yes, she did.
No, she didn't.
She did.
Hello, Jackie.
Hello.
20 seconds.
Remain anonymous, but okay. So I was a teacher and I had a student who transitioned. I was not given any notice, and she transitioned into, I can't remember whatever it was, but she changed her name on the register, and it was so awkward because it was a shock. And all the black kids were like, "Miss, I know you're gonna struggle. I know you're gonna struggle." And when I came to their name, I think she changed to a he. When I came to his name, I struggled, and in the end, while I'm interacting with every other kid, I stopped interacting with that person for fear of offending them. So in the end, I'm a devout Christian and I'm, culturally black. So the black kids knew what time it was, but it was just like, I'm scared. I don't know whether I'll get in trouble for saying the wrong thing. I don't know if I'll slip up and forget that yesterday, as Marv said, you were somebody else. Friday, you were a girl, and then now you're a boy. Give me time to adjust. If I make a mistake, it's not because of my religious beliefs. It's because I'm a human, and I knew you as X, and now you're Y. So in the end, I was like, F it, I'm just not going to call you. And I felt bad because I wanted to interact and, class participation or whatever. But if I'm not looking at you, I'm not going to call your name. And that's the risk you also run because people are scared to be human and slip up and say, oops, I called you your previous pronoun. That's it. I know you've got a press for time.
Before you go, are you now calling them by their preferred pronoun?
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I was scared, so I was on the register. Register. You know everyone's name. You know the orders.
Yeah.
Like, crap. This person, Sally, is now John.
Yeah.
And say, for example, I want to call that class interaction. I'm calling out, hey Billy, what do you think about this question? John, what do you think? I'm not going to call you Sally because I know your name. Your name was Sally on Friday. Now it's Bill. It's not fair on me. So in the end, to protect myself, I didn't call that person. But it's also unfair, not because of my beliefs, but because I didn't want to get in trouble. And I don't have time for the class to now laugh at me or banter with me because, miss, you called her the wrong name. Or then the pro activists are like, why did you call her the wrong name? Why did you call him the wrong name? You know he's a him because she cut her hair off. I'm human. So I just think, no, rather than getting into politics, I'm a Christian, devout Christian. My beliefs, as you were saying, is not priority here, because that's my personal beliefs, not for me to impose on you. But I'm not going to call you to get myself in trouble. If I look at you, yes. And as a duty of care, I want to make sure that you're comfortable in the class because you're a human being. But I also have to protect myself and not get in trouble. So I'm not going to call you until I'm fully comfortable, remember your name now. That's like you changing, like Diddy changed his name to Love. We call him Diddy still. We call him Puff sometimes.
Nah, I call him Brother Love,
You gotta give me time. I still call him Diddy.
I think the worst is flipping Bow Wow. No, a damn person called him Shad Moss. That was rude.
So do you get what I'm saying? So
Yeah, I'm still on Puffy.
It's not fair to make another human change so quickly and then hold them to account when they forget, when they slip up.
Yeah, 100%.
Stacey just said, did you have that energy for racists?
Yeah, no, he's mad, but just in general, other teachers have to go through it as well, because that person's also going to be taught by someone else. Irrespective of your beliefs, you will struggle to change the person, like today I'm calling you in my email, and then tomorrow I'm calling you whoever.
Are you prepared to give racist time? Do you understand about when slavery got abolished and yesterday that they were slaves and today you're talking about they're free men and all that?
Give me time to make you equal but we have to be honest. One day you're slaves, you're subordinate, now I'm your equal. You can sit next to me on the bus. Allow me, give me time.
I hear her though. Keep this.
Wow, that's a hot take.
It's not hot.
You.
It's facts. Keep the same
Thank you.
energy. I hear her.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jackie.
Big grown. But you're just trying to be next to me on the bus, man. Relax.
Back on the bus. So I need time. You might stand in the middle.
I'm trying. Wait.
I'm trying. Wait.
Next week, you can come an inch forward, you know?
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Right, excuse me, you can't come in. Damn!
And then you got this back with, how long has it been?
Okay, yeah, you can come. Sorry, give me time.
Ridiculous, man. All right, the phones are closed now.
After these headlines, we go into the interview, yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Cool.
All right, so Phillip Schofield has said his career is over.
Oh, duh. What do you think was going to happen?
I don't know. But following a scandal over an affair with a younger male colleague, but insisted he did not groom him. The 61-year-old resigned from ITV last week and was dropped by his talent agency, YMU, after admitting to an unwise but not illegal affair with the man. In the interview with The Sun, he said he felt utterly broken and ashamed, but insisted he did not groom the man, as he told the paper he will die sorry, and said his greatest apology over the fallout from the affair was to his former lover. Talking to the BBC, he said, I had to talk about television in the past tense, which breaks my heart. I have lost everything. What am I going to do with my days, he said. I see nothing ahead of me but blackness, and sadness.
Hey, bro. BFFR. He was close to retirement age. I don't know what he's talking about. Talking like he had 20 years. Still left on TV.
Yeah. Blackness and sadness and regret and remorse and guilt. I did something very wrong and then I lied about it consistently.
Anyway.
What are you going to say?
It just makes so much sense why he could have never blown the whistle on his brother.
100%.
That's why his brother confided in him.
Facts. Yeah.
Allegedly.
Thank you. Allegedly. Yeah. He told the broadcaster his first romantic encounter with his colleague took place in his dressing room and that the man was 20 years old when they first had any kind of sexual contact. He said the pair were not boyfriends and had 5 or 6 romantic encounters over a few months. Schofield also said, listen to this, yeah, he said he felt homophobia was a factor in people who disapproved of their relationship.
What if I slap?
Can you imagine?
You're a married man.
Yeah, and he said if it was a male-female, then it wouldn't be such a scandal.
No, it would be. You would still get fired.
He's drawing for the community to help him. But
they don't want to help you because...
Leave him there, guys.
Pedophilia is different.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Grooming is different.
Anyway, our second headline takes us to Argentina, where women in Argentina will no longer require a prescription to get emergency contraception. The government said making the morning after pill more easily available removed an important barrier for those seeking terminations. The move was welcomed by feminist groups who see it as a sign of progress in the Catholic majority country. The health ministry said that the measure would help avoid unintentional pregnancies by overcoming difficulties of access to health services, contraception supplies, and education faced by some. Argentine pro-life group, Dergula Exla Vida, said that the measure called the measure worrying, accusing the government of essentially orienting itself towards promoting abortive measures. He said the move was recognition of the failure of a pregnancy prevention and sex education. And the last headline...
You know they got rid of all the black people in Argentina, innit?
Yeah.
Do you know that?
No, I didn't recognise that.
Don't report news on Argentina no more.
Then what?
Huh?
What did you say?
Don't report news on Argentina no more.
Yeah, man.
They're boycotting.
I didn't know, you know.
No, they done it on purpose. There's a documentary. Let me go find it for you and I'll send it to you. There's hardly no black people there. They done it on purpose. What year was it? Anyway, I'll find it for you. I'll show you. They got them out of there.
Imagine.
That's wild.
They didn't do it with no. But then again, I don't even know what techniques and methods they use, to be honest with you. But they've done quite a good job. There's no black people there.
Wow.
If I have heard that before.
It's a damn shame. I wish I knew before. The last headline takes us to Jerusalem, the Holy Land, man, where Israel's far-right police minister, Itamar Ben-Gvir, has been jeered by marchers at Jerusalem's gay pride. Thousands turned out for the event despite security fears over online threats and counter-protests. The march was the first since the election of a hardline religious nationalist government, including openly homophobic senior ministers. Marchers waved huge rainbow and Israeli flags and banners that accused far-right ministers of trying to push them back into the closet. The climate surrounding the event has thrown a fresh spotlight on the deepening fault lines in Israeli society, where secular Jews have long championed the country's open culture of LGBTQ rights, but where the political and demographic shifts are giving unprecedented power to the nationalist and ultra-orthodox right wing. police arrested 3 people over threats made in the run-up to the event, while an open watchdog reported a spike in homophobic hate speech. The event was sealed by protective barricades, while the route was patrolled by hundreds of armed police. Organisers reported a record attendance of 30,000 people after warning of a public climate of danger for LGBTQ plus people. And that's it for the headlines.
Thank you very much. Let's get into our interview. All right, people, we have a special guest today. You know, we like to bring you different people from different walks of life that have got different things to share with you. Our guest today helps build brands to become household names, one of which I was very excited to share with you guys, Nala's Baby, with his company Creative Control, and also has founded a foundation in honor of his brother as well. And we'll get into all of that. But please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is David Olusegun. I am co-founder of a business called Creative Control Ventures.
Sick.
Similar to what you said is we partner with celebrities to launch consumer packaged good brands. So that's everything from like food and beverages, personal care and beauty, health and wellness and apparel. And obviously one of the brands that I'm sure all of you know is Nala's Baby, which
Baby Excellence, yeah.
Baby CEO, which we did with Crept and Sasha.
Sick.
So how are you anyway?
I'm good, thank you.
Yeah, you happy to be here with us?
Yeah, of course.
Love that. So before we get into the interview, we have a lovely game we like to play with our guests.
Yes.
You do have a scoreboard, I will say, so no pressure.
Who's number one?
Who's number one at the moment?
I think it's Ngozi, you know.
Yes.
Ngozi.
Okay, she's a therapist. She's a founder of Frontline Therapists.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so she's currently leading. Yeah, so basically we're going to ask you questions.
Okay.
Some of them are facts. Some of them are, actual answers.
Yeah.
And some of them is just preferences.
Okay.
So we're like Ghana or Nigerian jollof.
Okay.
Actually, that's a
I know
fact.
which one
Nigerian
it is,
jollof,
yeah,
obviously.
that's 100%.
Just the wrong, for example. But it's going to be over 140 beat.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Once you go.
So, Brent, not Brent. Why did I call you Brent? Headphones.
Oh, yes.
Brilliant.
Let me know when you guys are ready.
What?
Good up.
Yeah.
Cool. What thing you want to go? As in, yeah, we'll figure it out.
Who's starting?
I'll start.
Okay.
I'll
Me then you.
Huh?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'll start from
From the top.
no, from the bottom. From the bottom.
What?
Yeah, from the bottom.
the top.
From the bottom, like you know the bottom right. Yeah, that's what I'll start from.
Okay.
Why?
No, because the top ones we've used before, innit?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Go on then.
All right, Brent.
That freedom talk.
Yeah, go.
It likes to be the bottom.
Wait, do that again.
All right, we start in 5,
Yep.
4,
All right.
3, 2, and
What's the second largest city in the UK?
Manchester.
Who is the biggest selling black UK artist?
Stormzy.
Strength or size?
Strength.
What word is spelled incorrectly in every English dictionary?
Pass.
What is the currency used in Jamaica?
Dollars.
All black or all white?
All black.
What color do you get mixing red and blue?
Purple.
What African country does Lukaku originate? I want to pass.
Angola.
Nike or Adidas?
Nike.
Who passed away first, Princess Diana or Michael Jackson?
Prince Diana.
Who's the president of Nigeria?
Tinubu.
Ugh.
North or south?
South.
What political party is considered right wing?
Oh, Labour.
What is the largest country in Africa?
South Africa.
Nah, Algeria.
Oh.
I didn't know that.
You got quite a few wrong, man.
You're right.
No, but to be fair, yeah, some of these questions are kind of tough, to be fair.
Yeah.
I thought Billy Ocean. So the biggest selling black UK artist is Billy Ocean.
Oh.
I thought Billy Ocean was American.
Did you say UK or did you say?
Yeah, UK.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
You said
yeah.
who say Stormzy?
He said Stormzy.
Well, has he sold modern ceiling then, man? There.
Yo, Billy Ocean.
I don't think it's
Stormzy sold Asshole Still.
No, I don't think so.
I was gonna say.
I think Seal's like second, you know.
No, but black though.
Wait, so Michael Jackson's not
Seal
there?
is black.
Wait, what's Seal? Seal is
Well,
black.
this is before my time. You can't shame me. Okay, don't try knowledge shame me. This was not my time.
Seal's an icon. He's like one of our greatest British black exports.
Do you know what? Now you say it, I can see his face in my head.
Yeah.
But I was thinking of a white band. I was just thinking of like a white band. My bad. Okay, well, yeah. So that's that.
Moving on quickly.
Could you tell us?
Yeah,
please?
Labour probably is a right wing right now, isn't it?
Hey, for real. For real.
You guys are ridiculous. All right. So, you let us know, please, how creative control came about.
Oh, so there's two answers I give.
Okay.
One is the
You say wow.
I said, wow.
one is the generic answer you give when you do business and stuff like that, and one is like one of the real reasons. So in 2020, I had a music label with Warner Music Group. So the label input with Warner Music Group and a publishing company with Cobalt. And during 2020, my brother passed away. Suddenly, like, he died from a blood clot in his heart, and it was one of the things where when you have someone so young, he was 25 at the time, it's obviously something that just hits you like quite dramatically.
Yeah.
And I think, not to say that we're invincible or we're going to live forever, but I think having someone so close to me die so young was just like a big wake-up call that we are fragile, that everything doesn't last for long. And I think in that moment, it made me realize that there's so many different things that we care about or worry about that doesn't really matter. And it was, for me, it was like, if I was to die tomorrow, what do I want to be known about, or what do I want to leave on this earth? And I know everyone talks about legacy all the time kind of thing, but it really hit home after my brother died. And I think after Labour, I think I was cruising. I think I was like on autopilot. Like I was doing all right, like life was good kind of thing, but I was just like coasting kind of thing. And then my brother's death actually, like, in a sense, took me out of the matrix and go, let me reevaluate everything that I'm doing. And I felt like being in music, even though as great it is, it wasn't where my calling was meant to be. And I think around the time I saw a lot of like celebrities launching brands and obviously having like unicorn status or like $1 billion companies. So you've seen like when Dre sold to Apple.
Oh yeah.
You've seen Rihanna and Fenty. You've seen Kylie Jenner, Kylie Cosmetics. You've already seen these huge celebrities creating these amazing brands. And I was obviously, at that time, I was thinking to myself, like, we see all of these things in the US. And I think in the US, sometimes they're like ahead of us, like 5 years ahead of us in terms of what they do.
Yeah.
But there wasn't really anyone doing that in the UK that are, and it's not merch, because obviously I think a lot of people sometimes class as what we're doing as merch, but at the heart of everything we do is the product. We try to make product that essentially enriches the lives of our consumers. And at the time, obviously, Nala was even conceived before Nala was even born.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah. If you hear the story of Krept and Sasha, how they came about it, like when they were looking for products that were natural.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
You're always finding these products in these like black shops and they're like £25 and stuff like that. And there was nothing really that was quite affordable for people like us or people or mothers who wanted to have a product that was like 99% natural.
Yeah.
There was nothing out there. So obviously he came to us and said, I want to create this product. And obviously, like I said, him and Sasha have a big vision of what they want to do with Nala's Baby. Yeah. And what we did is obviously we came about and we have a team that obviously helped put it all together kind of thing. And it's been a great success. And I think the great thing about it is that it's authentic. This is not like brand partnership or sponsorship where you're giving someone, a celebrity, money to endorse your product. This is someone who's found a problem in the marketplace and wanted to solve that problem, and we're there to obviously provide the infrastructure to help do it. And then now we're doing it with other celebs in different categories, similar in terms of like coming up with an idea or coming up with a space that we look into. We look at different industries and we look at where is there a space that we can innovate, and then we obviously create products in there.
That's sick. So you said you've got a co-founder, or you're a co-founder?
Yeah, so I obviously came up with the idea in 2020, and then I brought on two co-founders with me, yeah. So a guy called Alex and a woman called Shaz.
Nice. That's sick. So how long was Nala's baby in the works for?
Maybe like 2 years.
That's sick. That's amazing.
Yeah, a long time. But I think we had to get it right. Like, especially when it comes to baby products, you have to get the product right for mothers, because at the end of the day, your mothers and fathers are entrusting your product with their kids.
Yeah.
And I think, obviously, everyone's seen the before and afters of all of those different, like, before and after pictures and stuff like that. And we knew the product was good, but I know when you're insular in it and you're thinking, oh, this product's good, we didn't know it's going to have the impact it did.
But it did.
Yeah, like the messages that we see, the pictures that we see of mums, like, saying this product has healed my kids' eczema and stuff like that. It's been amazing. And we don't even say that we're like an eczema curing cream and stuff like that. We try to, like, stay away from saying that, but it's amazing what the product has
I love how affordable it is.
Yeah.
I think that's such a good thing. I remember when it came out, because I reported on it, I was very excited about it. And the prices, I was so shocked. And the branding is just so, it's great.
Yeah, no, the branding, like, when you look at the category, because what we do, we look at the category and you look at all the other different competitors, and you look at, like, there's nothing really there that really stands out. We wanted to create a product that mums can obviously be proud of, because you obviously on a woman's, like, makeup desk or where she puts her cream and stuff like that, you see all of these amazing products, and you might see a baby product and it's like white or bland or stuff like that. We wanted to create a product that was actually designed great, to be honest.
That looks nice next to Fenty stuff.
Yeah, and we worked hard to make sure we got the price right, because we could have charged like £15, £20, etc. But we wanted to try and create a product that was, like, provided a lot of value, but it could be affordable to loads of different people.
How did you do that? Sorry.
Yeah, I was just about to ask them.
Yeah, how did you do that?
In terms
Because
of,
I think sometimes when people start businesses with products and stuff, their thing is always, we couldn't get the price down and it's worth it. They really just said it to you by saying it's worth it. It works. Fantastic. That's great. But how were you able to do that? Because really and truly, I've seen pictures, I've seen reviews. I know people that have used it personally. The product does what it needs to do. So really, I feel like if you charge more, I still think it would have had the impact it did.
Yeah, and I think we could have charged more.
Yeah.
But I think for us, it's just like, we want to make Nala's baby a household name. We want it to be here for decades to come. And I think we are very good negotiators when we are talking to, like, manufacturers and stuff like that. We obviously tell them the whole vision, and I think that's one of the key things of having celebrities working with you, because obviously we're able to show them that if this really works, we're going to have, like, a huge brand. This is not like, even though we're a startup in a sense, like, we've only been here for less than a year, we're not a startup because we have
Creative Control?
Nala's baby, and Creative, it's not a startup in a sense that I'm not creating a product and just selling it. Like, this is someone who's got huge audience. Or two people's got huge audience. So from day one, you're seeing this whole amount of people, like, interested in buying this in this product kind of thing. So we're able to obviously articulate that to them. And then obviously we talk about, we've got a retailer like Boots on board as well. And then obviously it makes it easier. Because we push and say, this is the price we want to sell it, and then we just have to work backwards from there. And that's why I respect Krept and Sasha so much. When it comes to ingredients, them guys were on it. Like, all the different ingredients, they were looking and researching every single ingredient and made sure if this worked or that worked. Like, if we send them an ingredient that wasn't, like, didn't align to, like, the 99% natural bit, they would be like, no, we don't want to do it. So I really respect them to be doing that.
See, this is what I was going to ask you. Like, how much work does the person with the idea have to do in contrast to how much work you guys have to do? So, because I'm assuming it's not just a case of Krept having the idea of a baby product and be like, look, guys, this is my idea. Do everything else. Like, what's normally the workload, if that makes sense?
So it differs between the celebrity people that we work with, but Krept has been, like, on it, like, super on it, like, in every part of it. So him and Sasha has put a lot of work into it itself. I think we're fortunate that we've got a team that have skill sets in different areas to obviously to obviously make sure that the product comes out well, the marketing's done well, we're in retail, all of that kind of thing. But Krept has been involved in, like, every part, and Sasha's been involved as well in every part, even when it comes to, like, fundraising, all of that kind of thing, they've been involved in as well.
That's sick. So you mentioned, sorry about your brother passing away, and you mentioned how that was when you kind of transitioned into like, going to creative control. Did you walk away from music, like, completely? Yeah,
I think it was like, for me, it's like you're on that road of, like, fork kind of thing. You can either go this way and do it, like, half-hearted, or you can go fully into it. And to me, it was like, I need to go fully into this thing, because I think we have a great opportunity here. I think there's no one doing it like we're doing it in, like, in the UK kind of thing. Like, obviously I can't say what the people we're working with, but we've got some big people working in the UK that are releasing product. And I think I obviously like to say that there's not a lot of competitors out there that are like us, but there is one competitor that every time I say it, people say that's quite a big ambition. But I think I see ourselves similar to like LVMH.
Okay, sick.
In the sense that obviously
We're dreamers over here, so we don't know about that.
Exactly.
we don't do all of that.
So yeah, and what they've done with Rihanna and Fenty has been like
Amazing.
Like that case study to see what they've done is
historical.
Yeah, we have like a phrase that we use in our company is and obviously it goes to when we are pitching, especially to musicians, because even though I'm not in music, I'm in music in a sense, like talking to like musicians and stuff like that. We always say to them, like, when you look at all the musicians who have done well or who have made our billionaires, Rihanna, Jay-Z's, Kanye's all come products. So we always say like, music makes you millionaires, but product makes you billionaires.
Or what, are you pitching products to like artists and celebrities?
Yes.
Or so it's not them coming to you. You're actually. What am I saying? That would you like to make a product, say there's a gap in the market, and then point out at a celebrity and say, I think you could do this, and then bring it to them, or is it them coming to you?
So it's both. Some come to us. Some come to us and say, I've got this idea. Like, let's say I want to do, but it's more like, it's not I want to do this exactly. It's more like I want to do something in juices or water or something like that.
Yeah.
And the thing is, what we try to do, because we've got like an insights and data team that look at trends and stuff like that, and look at, because one of the things we try to do is like, where is the gap in the market? Because we're not just going to create another energy drink similar to like the Red Bulls and stuff like that. We'll look at like, in that category, where's there subcategories that we can innovate in, and then work with them or partner with them to launch a product in the...
Okay.
That's sick. What is your vetting process to know like what brands you want to work with, or what celebrities you want to work with?
I think yeah, we do have one. It's like, I think for us it's making sure that the celebrity understands what building a business is.
Okay.
This isn't like I said, this is not us giving you money and then you endorsing a product. This is actually working with us to create a whole business. So in terms of like coming up with the idea, what the go-to-market plan is, how do we fundraise, all of those kind of elements of it. And if they are really passionate about a category, then we definitely do it. Like, we're working with one big influencer in the shapewear space. And I remember I was on a call with her and her manager like a couple of weeks ago. It was like an hour and a half call, and that hour 20 minutes was talking about why she wants to go into this. Like, she is so passionate about this, like to the point where I was like, we have to get this product out and we have to get your message out. So I think for me, the biggest thing is like knowing that you're passionate about whatever category we're going into, because there's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be moments where you're like, oh, this is a lot. But if you have that vision and you have that tenacity to go, you know what, this product needs to be out there in the market, then
When you mentioned LVMH, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, that's a company, I guess, that everyone kind of knows the legacy of, right? I was looking through your Instagram page, and I saw like 6 like values or, I guess, your ethos, right?
Yeah.
Legacy, impact, excellence, culture, passion, vibes. Yeah. Why those 6?
So legacy is, I think for us, legacy is, because I've changed my view on legacy. I thought my legacy was all about like how much money and how much houses you can give to your kids and stuff like that. But then I realized that actually, especially when my brother died, it's like legacy is actually what the impact you have in people's lives. So it could be your next door neighbor, it could be your colleague, it could be anyone around you, like what impact that you have on it. And basically we want to try and create that legacy, one, for the products we create. So like Nala's Baby, for example, like when everyone uses Nala's Baby or mother uses Nala's Baby, that they're going, this product is so amazing on my kids, or this has helped my kids, eczema or anything, whatever it is, for that element. And then there's a little bit is where obviously like people like Crept or wherever you like, as a young guy growing up in South London, I think there's obviously some pathways that people can go, either as like sports or music or trapping or anything like that. But I think, and sometimes when you look at people, when they say like, who's your favorite like entrepreneur, whatever, it's usually like Jay-Z or Diddy in the UK. And obviously my thing was like, I want to change that narrative. Like I want people to go like, oh, Crept is someone I look up to. He's gone into this, or Stormzy or Dave or Skepta or anything like that, that they can from young to look at home and go that these guys have created like amazing ventures from home. So that's what we want to try and do as well in terms of legacy. I think passion, like I said, passion is drives everything you do. Like, to be honest, I think you're not passionate about something. If there's a hard brick or hard road, you're gonna go, you know what, I can't be bothered, kind of thing. I think vibes is like, we want to be like professional and credible enough to speak to like retailers, investors, manufacturers and stuff like that. But we also want to be like relatable to like rappers or stuff like that, or celebrities and stuff like that. So we want to try and have that. And I think in our office, that's what we try to create. Like, we're trying to create an environment where people want to work there. People feel like it's exciting to work here, and it's not like the whole office environment. And then innovative, I think we just want to make sure that we're innovating anything we do. Like, I think there's so many incumbent brands that do the same things, and I think they've been lucky here. We want to go there and go like, how can we innovate? How can we make things a little bit better?
You know your business, yeah? Obviously,
Yeah.
you're a black man, Nigerian, Yoruba.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Where the horns, Brent?
No. Don't subscribe to that.
But like, I guess the other co-founders, are they black as well?
Oh, no. So we've got a white guy, but he's half Egyptian.
Okay.
Who's African. And then we've got an Asian woman.
Really clutching. He's like clutching, isn't it?
Anywhere we can get it.
Brent, where's the horns for the Asians, man?
And so we're quite diverse. Our team's very diverse, to be honest. Yeah.
Is the whole minority thing, African thing, like, of importance to you though? Or like, when you just started the business, was it just who fits this particular idea and can fit into the team?
I think yes, it is, in terms of like who is the best person for each role. Definitely, that is like the top of thing. But at the same time, I didn't want to create a company that looked a certain way, kind of thing. I wanted to be diverse, because I think with diversity, you get different perspectives, you get different perceptions. Even when we are creating products and stuff like that, you're getting so many people from different backgrounds that can go, you know what, this works for me or this doesn't work for me. And then we're able to innovate even further than if it's just one group of people that are focusing on one thing. So that's why our team is quite diverse. So we've got loads of women in like leadership. We've got
Where's the horns? Where's the top? Thank you very much. Love that.
Yeah, I love working with women because I think the way they think sometimes, and the way they've got like a very holistic view of everything. Like, I think sometimes as guys we're just very like A and B. They're very like, have you thought about this and that and that and that? And I love that. Yeah, A to Z, all of that.
You haven't seen The Power yet, have you?
The Power.
What is your problem?
I was joking.
It's a show where women are just amazing. Women are so great and they lead the world so perfectly.
Oh, that's the show?
That's the show, yeah.
Okay, I need to check that out.
That's the premise.
It lasts half an hour and everyone dies.
Did you feel pressure though? Because you started in 2020, right?
Yeah.
Did you feel pressure for it to be like black owned? Because that was around lockdown. That was around George Floyd dying. That was around Black Pound Day. There was a lot of emphasis, and that's when companies, pick up Jackie I know every time, where companies were being called out for the black people that was in the companies. Did you feel pressure for your company to be black owned, or like to have anything black attached to it for the masses?
To say it was a black owned company?
Like, yeah, to be like, just to attach anything black, some kind of black ownness to it. Because I do think that has become a trend.
Yeah. No, I don't think there was a pressure, or there was like, I want to make sure this is a black owned company.
Yeah.
I did want people to know that a black person was part of it, kind of thing. To know that black people can do things like this.
Okay, yeah.
Kind of thing, because I think for me is like, sometimes I look at media and look at like how sometimes black people is represented. And I'm so happy that there's like different now, it's not just one narrative that they play on TV and stuff like that. You're seeing so many different black people who are doing six things. And I wanted that people to go, oh, actually a black person has been part of this. But I didn't want to be like, oh, this is black owned or anything like that. And what I like now is, because I remember back in the days when people used to create companies, black people used to say, oh, I don't want to be the face of it because I don't want people to know that it's a
that was a thing.
black owned thing. And I was like, that's crazy, to be honest.
I feel like we've gone from one extreme, because now people just want to be the face of something, and I'm like, I want to be some face. Okay, that makes sense. Have you ever had to like turn down a brand or someone because of like their messaging, what they stand for, like a scandal and stuff?
Yeah. We've had to turn down, or we've had to say, you know what, this isn't right for us. Just because one, either the reason why they want to do it is wrong, or they're very controversial.
What's a wrong reason for you?
A wrong reason is they're in it for short term. Okay. There's no real passion for it, or there's no real idea. They've just seen a trend and go, "Oh, I want to jump on that trend."
Okay.
So for us, that's not really what we want to do. Because at the end of the day, we want to create things that are here for like 10 years, kind of thing, 10, 20 years. Got here before we pass away, to be honest. So this is not something that's just a 1-2 year thing. To be honest, this is something that is going to be here for generations. To be honest, like that's why we call we want to create like generational brands.
Love that. Yeah.
Someone in chat asked, do you work with black tech brands?
No.
Is there certain areas that like you haven't ventured into yet that you're thinking
on your list?
Yeah, I need to.
Yeah, no, I think tech is one that we want to get into 100%. But I think because we are focused on like consumer packaged goods across those 4 verticals, those are the ones we're focusing on at the moment, because we get inundated so much by different people that want to work with us, to the point where we just have to go, you know what, maybe this is not the right time, or we're not going into this kind of thing. But like tech is something that we would probably go to in maybe like a couple of years' time.
Okay.
Do your co-founders have, because you came from music,
did
they have experience in this industry?
Well,
beforehand?
the woman Shaz, she was in retail, so she built like a big retail food business, and then she sold it in 2019, and then Alex had like a tech business. Okay. So yeah,
you've done amazing in 3 years. Like, that's amazing.
Yeah, to be honest, we started properly in September 21. I think 2020 was like because obviously I had a business before, but it was like I didn't want to just rush in and do a business kind of thing. Like I had to like do research, speak to different people, and actually see if this is something that actually is something that will work. So it took me a year to get to the point where I was like, actually, this is something that worked. And then brought on Alex and then Shaz like a few months. And I think the crazy thing is with Shaz, we were speaking all through like lockdown. Like we didn't even meet each other until maybe 6 months later. And we agreed to be business partners before then. But I think I'm someone that when I work with people, I'm very like, I'm a energy person. Okay. And I'm like, does this person align with the values I have? Does this person see the vision? Does this person have a similar kind of vision? Yeah. And we spoke for like 4-hour conversations just talking about the whole thing. And then September 21 was like, you know what? We've got everything almost in place. Now we want to launch properly. So yeah, it's been a year and a bit to it. And I think we've done well.
Done amazing.
Yeah. So since you obviously just started like a few years ago, how did that connection with Krept come about? Did you know it from before, or like?
So that was so Shaz was working with Krept ages ago. She was going to do another venture, and then obviously the Nala's baby thing came about. And I've got a close friend who's like, to be honest, it was the close friend who connected me with Shaz anyway. Okay. And that's how we came about.
Okay. I think you basically said you've had to turn down certain people before. Yeah. Like, what type of controversies from a particular influencer or celebrity or whatever makes you say, you know what, nah, I need to stay away from this particular person?
If I say one, it's going to be who it is.
Okay.
There's a big American one that we was meant to work with, but it just anything that's controversial in terms of like if they call out a certain type of group.
Okay.
Or if they're in trouble like with the police a lot, kind of thing. Because I think the hard part of it is obviously a lot of brands we want to get into retail, and sometimes retails are a bit, what's the right word? Careful in terms of like what they go with. And I think for us as well is that even though there's celebrity attached to it, and what we want to do, get to a place where even if celebrity was attached to it, people still buy it. We just want to make sure that the brand is not affected by that person's controversy.
Definitely wasn't this guy, was it?
No.
I was going to say extensions.
I wouldn't even speak to that guy. That is not the guy at all.
Impossible.
Yeah.
What kind of challenges did you think you would face coming into it, and have you faced those challenges you thought were different ones?
Yeah, we faced a lot of challenges.
Really?
We faced challenges in terms of like making sure the product was right, making sure the product was on time and getting to the retailers. But I think the biggest thing, and I've spoken to other entrepreneurs, I think it's getting the right staff. Nowadays. Okay. I think finding the right staff is such a hard job, to be honest. I think that is it. And then I think it's convincing people around us. Like obviously Krept, who's a rapper, you would never think him going into baby products. And I think just telling people like the story, but I think when you hear his story about it, that's when you're convinced about it. But like sharing that kind of thing. And I think it's just like anything in business in terms of like making sure you're growing, not having enough time, raising money, all of those I think elements are hard, but for some reason we've been blessed that we've been able to go through all of those challenges.
What? Sorry, go on.
Well, once you started to create, what was the first? Is Nada's the first brand you done?
Yeah, so Nada's the first brand we've launched. Yeah.
Oh, literally. So out the gate, you just
Yeah,
That is amazing.
We launched. Yeah, and it's been a good launch so far.
A good launch. It's sold out in 10 minutes. It's been an amazing launch.
It's sold out loads of times, and I think it's good, man. I think Boots have been a great partner. As well, and yeah, they've been a great partner. But there's obviously news coming out soon in terms of like the Boots thing and it being in other stores as well.
Oh, sick.
So, yeah.
Did you have to pitch it to Boots?
Yeah, we had to pitch it to Boots. So
how was that?
it was good. I think what we try to do with retailers is that we don't pitch the celebrity straight away. We want to make sure that they're bought into the product first. So if they love the product and they love everything about it, then we go, oh, actually, and just so you know, X is attached to it as well. And then it takes it from being something that's going to do a trial on 40 stores, but we want to go into like 800 or more stores and kind of thing.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
What would you say is your biggest achievement so far besides Nala's? Yeah, like for your company, what's the biggest achievement? Like, what goal did you set for yourself? Even if it was just like starting the company, what goal did you set for yourself? And once you hit it, it was like, yeah. There's one of the goals I set for myself is like, obviously, we obviously want to do a lot of things in the US, but I think there's certain clients that we want to get. And then there's one client that I wanted to get from, like, you know, when you write down your vision of like who you want to work with kind of thing. And there's one client I wanted to get, and we signed him maybe like 3-4 months ago. A big client.
You haven't put it out yet? Is the announcement coming?
Is it?
Is there an announcement coming?
Yeah, announcement's coming. Yeah, that one's a big client. That's one I wanted to get. I was like, yeah, we want to get, and then we've got another sick one in a big UK one, which I think people will be surprised why he's doing it, but yeah, that one's coming out soon. It's a shame that I can't say things much now, but obviously when you see it.
Said it.
When you see it, then you see it.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I also noticed that you got a newsletter.
Yes.
The Creators Blueprint.
Yes.
Can you tell us about that? How did that start?
So Creators Blueprint is like, I think some people underestimate like celebrities sometimes. I think that people just think celebrities are, if you do music, all you do is music. Or if you're an actor, all you do is act. Or if you do anything else, that's all you do. But I think when you look at the celebrities, what they've done business-wise, you actually see how smart a lot of them are. And I think what I wanted to do is create a newsletter where it breaks down how some of these celebrities have done their businesses, but also how you can use the skills and the lessons that they learned to obviously use for your business kind of thing. So it's one of the things, I've seen a lot of people say like, oh, this has motivated me to like start a business, or I didn't know. Like, for example, I did one about Robert De Niro, and a lot of people don't know that he was the first investor into Nobu, and he's the one who helped Nobu grow into like what Nobu is, to be honest. So I want to just like create something about all your favorite celebrities, but from a business aspect, and look at like how they've broken it down, to be honest, how they've made their wealth.
Really good ideas, you know. Because I think you've got one on Viola Davis, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I didn't know there was a business side to my mum. I said, okay.
Yeah, you would never know, but she is like exceptional in business and what she does. And even like Issa Rae, like if you break down like, because basically what I did is like, so Disney had something called like a flywheel where it showed like how the different elements of Disney's, from the theme parks to the movies to the consumer products, all linked together.
Yeah.
And then Issa Rae has something similar for her company where she's breaking out how her movies and TV shows link into like something called, she's got radio, which is her audio with podcast and music, to her cafes that she has, all of those kind of things. So you see that how celebrities are so smart in terms of how they build their business. And you can see why they're there where they are. Yeah. Like, it's not just because of luck or anything like that. They've got something about them that they're able to like create these amazing things, not just in one field, but in business as well.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, people sign up to the newsletter.
Yeah, sign up to the newsletter. Creatorsblueprint.co.
Love that. And you've also got a foundation in honor of your brother, Justin.
Yes.
Can you tell us about that as well, please?
Yes, so the foundation is basically when my brother died, it's like one of the things that I thought is that I wanted to make a positive of it.
Yeah.
And I feel like his time was cut short. So it's like, how can I still continue his legacy there? And I think what I wanted to do is, I was looking at like what we can do as a foundation. And obviously the first thing was like do a scholarship and work with a university to do that. Yeah. And I think there's so many amazing scholarship providers out there. But I think sometimes it negates or doesn't think about people who might not be academically smart, but they might just be smart in another area. And I felt like it's unfair for you not to provide any like support of that. Yeah. So basically I wanted to create a foundation that helps, especially it's specifically for like black people aged 16 to 25. And we have like 3 different like pillars to our foundation. One is the JackyOh like Future Leaders Grant. So obviously giving people money between £200 to £2,000 where we can give them a grant, and it's anything from if you want to gain new skills, even if it's something like if you want to get a new visa, or even if it's like money to get a new suit for an interview, anything that you feel like it needs to help you, like either people who are underemployed or unemployed to either get a job or to get promotion and stuff like that. We've got like a mentoring thing. I think, like I said before, there's so many black people who are doing amazing things, and I think a lot of them want to like give back and tell people like how to navigate, even in terms of like how to navigate office politics or how to play the game and stuff like that. Like sometimes it's needed to help people go up the corporate ladder. And then the other one is like a workshop, so providing like workshops, and so it could be like CV workshops or public speaking or negotiation or marketing. So workshop that obviously equip people to obviously go up the corporate ladder or start the entrepreneur journey. So yeah.
That's really, really cool. Was he a younger or older brother?
Oh, younger. So he was 25 when he died. Yeah. So young, yeah.
Very young, yeah.
I was going to ask you, like you said about, I guess, giving people game on how to navigate certain spaces, right? What would you say is a few of the skills that you've learned over the years that you feel are kind of like indispensable, that all of us need to kind of, you know what I mean, like put in our arsenal?
Yeah, like my first job was at Viacom, so MTV. So I think my boss at the time taught me a lot in terms of like that. Like that's the first time when you're working for a big organization like that, there's so much politics that go within it. So one of the first things is like, I'm someone's like, look at who are the decision makers in that team or whatever, in your team, and make sure you're their best friend. So even if it's like, and people might be calling it suck it up or whatever, but always ask them like, how can I help? How can I do this? How can I do that? And I know some people, black people I talk to, like the pub after on Thursday and stuff like that, people hate kind of that kind of thing.
That's me,
but you realize that's where a lot of conversations happen in terms of like going away abroad for work or getting promoted and stuff like that. So I know it's always, some people call it like code switching and stuff like that. I think one, be authentic. Don't do something that's not authentic to you. But I think you have to play the game in terms of like understanding those kind of things.
Stuff like that.
And then I think it's just one, like showcasing your value. I think sometimes we are maybe shy to talk about what we do, but I think we need to really showcase your value, especially to the team. So even if it's like meetings and you're like going through things you've done, like really like not exaggerate, but really showcase like what the value that you do. And I think another thing as well, maybe people do so don't, but even when it comes to like when you get like your job offer as an employer, or even though I shouldn't be saying it, even though there might be a job that is advertised for this amount, sometimes there's always extra money that people can go up to. So if you showcase your value in interview and stuff like that, and they really like you, they will pay that extra money, because as an employer, to go through that whole process again,
it's long,
it's very, very long, and it costs us money to do that.
Okay.
So I'll definitely say that. And then be good at negotiation, man. I think negotiation and being able to communicate are two key skills, to be honest. Like being able to communicate on emails, in person, all of that is hugely important. Because there's some people that I think are great, but because the way they communicate or the way they present themselves isn't great, it's obviously sometimes hard to do that, to be honest.
Makes perfect sense, man.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to bring up the past.
we
we did speak about this on the show before, innit? But yeah, it's good to hear from obviously someone in your position, man.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up, I did want to ask, tell us something that nobody knows about you. Could be anything.
Ooh.
Tell us who the big celebrities. I'm joking.
I already told you. Don't try that.
I'm quite an open person, so I'm trying to think.
It could be anything. It could be like a hobby or something.
Yeah, everybody knows.
Oh no! To be honest, maybe one. Obviously, no one knows this now, but I'm taking therapy. I'm taking therapy. Yeah.
Is that as a result of your? I'm a therapy advocate. Is that because of like what made you want to go into that? If you don't mind me asking.
So I think I did it when my brother died because I'm the oldest member, and there's like so much pressure on me because I don't think I had time to mourn. It was like my brother died, then I had to organize the funeral, and then I had to support my mum, my sister, my dad. So I did have therapy, so I needed time to obviously speak about it. But I found therapy so hard because I've never done it before, and you're basically telling a stranger all of your things, and then she'll go through every painful thing as a child and stuff like that, and you're like, what the hell is this? I don't like this. So I stopped for a long time because even though I knew it was beneficial, I just didn't like that at all. And then it was again, I was like, things were like coming up in terms of my life and stuff like that, and I was like, oh, like I need to go therapy to do it again. So now I'm doing therapy again, and it's much better now because obviously I understand what happened, but I understand that it's needed for that growth.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah,
that's very wholesome.
Yeah.
Just a quick follow-up question here, because I'm totally new to the whole therapy.
Oh yeah.
Like, what makes a good therapist? Like, how do you find a good therapist?
I think it's someone that is who provides an environment that's very non-judgmental.
Yeah.
There's so many things that I've like maybe told her that I didn't think I would tell anyone, and she's like, I'm so happy that you're able to tell me this. So someone who creates an environment that is like non-judgmental, and then someone who's able to link things together. So something I've done now, she'll go like, oh, do you remember when you did this as a child? And you go, rah, like
I forgot I told you that.
Then she'll link it all together like, you've done this because maybe this happened and then this happened, and you go, rah, like you realize so quickly how your childhood and everything that when you went through as a child links to like some of the things you do now. And it's so crazy. It's so crazy. Yeah. For me, like, it was one of the best decisions I've done going therapy, because I think everyone needs a therapist, and I think there was a stigma that if you've got mental health issues that you should go to therapy, especially being Nigerian. I haven't even told my parents that.
Deliverance.
They'll take you to deliverance service.
Yeah, that's true, man.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sick, man.
Yeah.
So you have
No,
a
go
question?
on.
No, I was going to give him his props.
I was just going to say, one last question, obviously, people know that you're associated with the success of Nala's baby and stuff, Does that affect how you navigate, like, relationships and stuff?
Personal relationships stuff?
Yeah.
No.
Life has been pretty normal, the same?
No, everyone obviously is like congratulates and stuff like that. No, I don't think. I've got a good group of friends, and I think when people talk about it, I go like, because one thing that I don't want to do is, we don't want to take the shine of like what Crept and stuff like that done, because they've done amazingly. I don't want it to feel like, I know some people feel like in labels sometimes, or the label did this, but no, Crept and Sasha have done amazingly in what they did. So I don't want to take the shine. So I navigate in terms of like, you know, who wants to be friends because of that success and stuff like that. You understand that. But I think, like, to be honest, I'm good judge of character to know like who is that and who isn't, who's generally like showing love or showing support.
So you're a born again Christian?
Yeah.
How does that affect the decisions you make at work?
Hugely. They're my guiding principles. There's so many things that we could do. Like, I remember there was one, like, people wanted us to do some sort of like, you know, the e-cigarettes and stuff like that with a big celebrity and stuff like that. And I'm not a big fan of like e-cigarettes because obviously people might say it's safer than nicotine, cigarettes and stuff like that. But a lot of them have got nicotine, which is quite addictive. And I was like, no, I wouldn't do it. But what I would do is, obviously, I went to the team and said, oh, can we do research in like nicotine free?
Okay.
These e-cigarettes and stuff like that. that are much more healthier, and there's like plant-based ones and all of those kind of things. That is something that I would get into. And there was like there's a myriad of things that we get asked to do, and we're like, you know what, it's not right. And thankfully my co-founders are aligned in terms of that.
I was going to ask that next. How do you know? I was going to ask that next in terms of if something is against kind of your morals.
Yeah.
How would, and they were on it, how would you navigate? Like, how would you come to a consensus with that?
We've had those things where there's other things where there's maybe a couple of us are and one of us isn't, and depending on it, because for example, one of my co-founders are Muslim, and one of the brands and one of the brands we're doing is an alcohol brand, in America, and she was like, I can't get involved in that, but I want you guys to do it. So we are doing that, and there was one brand that we were meant to do, which we was like, two of us were like, you know, we can't do it because of our religious belief. One was like, I don't mind, but he was like, so you know what? Actually, I agree with you guys. So let's not do it. So yeah, able to navigate it that way.
Lovely.
And yeah, there's like things like there's loads of things that we wouldn't do just because, like I said, at the end of the day, like our part of our vision is to obviously create product that enrich the lives of people. Yeah. So that's our guiding principle when we are creating product, to make sure that it does that for the end consumer.
Love that.
Yeah.
Well, we look forward to seeing many more great announcements of Creative Control, and congratulations on everything you've got so far.
Thank you very much.
Is there anything you got coming up? You can tell people your pages, all that stuff to follow you on. Yeah,
so obviously all the announcements will come on my page. There's one that we're releasing quite soon with a rapper, which is going to be dope. Sick. You can follow me on Insta on DOLUSEGUN.
Lovely. Creative Controls page?
And Creative Controls is CCVHQ. Oh no, Creative Control HQ, sorry. Yeah.
Creative Control, okay. And then the newsletter one more time?
Creatorsblueprint.co.
Perfect. Someone in the group chat says, are you single? Nigerian coming up.
No.
Oh, sorry.
We've got the horns.
Lovely. But yeah, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you for your time, guys.
Thank you. Lovely. Right, what are we getting? Word on road?
Yes.
Let's do it. Okay. Y'all, so basically, there's been another allegation against Bill Cosby. And this is for a former actress. And I think she was a Playboy model as well. Her name is Victoria Valentino, and she's 80 years old now. And she basically said that she met him. She was 54 when she met him. It's about, someone do the maths, I don't know.
26 years?
Yeah, so she, sorry?
26 years.
Yeah, 26 years, yeah. So she basically said that how he approached her at LA Cafe, and he saw her crying after the recent, trigger warning, after the recent drowning of her 6-year-old son. And then he offered to pay for a spa treatment for her and a friend. And then he sent a chauffeured car to pick the women up. And that evening, he gave them each a pill. And he said that it will make them feel better. And it will make all of us feel better, is what he said. And she said, allegedly, he drove the women to his house, where she passed out on a couch, and later woke up and witnessed him sexually assaulting her. Or her friend, sorry. And then, yeah, basically. And then he engaged in the same with her while she was incapacitated with drugs. So it'll be interesting to see what goes on. I mean, his lawyers are not, they're basically saying that, you know, all these things are false and people just want money and whatever else. But I'll keep you updated on what happens. I know he's not in prison anymore, is he? So it'll be interesting to see what happens. But he basically is leading the Me Too movement at this point. But I'll let you guys know what happens. And then next on my list of things, sorry, my doc is jumping up and down. Sad news as well. So DC Young Fly from Wild 'N Out, his wife passed away. Very, very sad news. She's known as Miss JackyOh, and allegedly she passed away. So it's been alleged, right, that she passed away getting surgical cosmetic surgery. And Wild 'N Out put out a statement and they said, "We are deeply saddened by the passing of Jacqueline Smith, known to the world as JackyOh, a talented Wild 'N Out family member whose impact will be forever treasured and missed. JackyOh was a loving friend and beloved colleague of the Wild 'N Out cast throughout 5 seasons. More importantly, she was a tremendous mother to 3 beautiful children. The BET Media Group extends our sincere condolences to the Smith family, DC Young Fly, B. Simone, Nick Cannon, and all friends who loved and cared for JackyOh during this difficult time." Very, very sad news. But there's no word exactly on how she passed away, but her family did say, it is with saddened hearts we share with you that Jacqueline, aka Miss JackyOh, has passed away on Wednesday, the 31st of May. Our family is still processing this very tragic and unexpected loss. We ask that you please give us privacy during this time. Signed, her family. And that's just it's so sad, man. But yeah, the word on the streets, because she posted a picture saying she's getting a mummy makeover, and that's basically like a cosmetic surgery, like nip tuck, all that kind of stuff. And there is this surgeon page on the gram, and they basically said that as recently reported, we are heartbroken and sad to say that the news of Miss JackyOh passing away while undergoing a plastic surgery procedure is true. This gorgeous woman was the wife of DC Young Fly, a known rapper, comedian on Wild 'N Out. Her surgeon was Dr. Zach, and they put his at there. This is all the info we know and still do not have a cause of death. We're praying for her and her 3 children. That's very, very sad news, man.
It's horrible.
But
So
she's a known. Yeah, she's on Wild 'N Out.
Oh,
Yeah. When you see her, you recognize her. But yeah, she was on Wild 'N Out as well. But love and prayers to her and her family.
Yeah, 100%.
But this is the wilding part of the tea I have for you today. So there's a Grammy nominated artist. Her name is Chika. She's a sick rapper. I can't even lie to you. She is a sick rapper. She was also in Double XL's 2020 freshman class. She's just talented, super talented. The first time I was introduced to her, she's 26 years old. First time I was introduced to her was when I think she went viral. Trigger warning, suicide, and insulting kids. I don't know how to phrase that, but it's quite sensitive what she tweeted. But yeah, basically, so just first time I was introduced to her was when she went viral because she basically said she was gonna kill herself, and people couldn't find her for like a few days, and so it was a whole thing. And I remember I kept checking her page to see if there was any updates and if she had been found and all that kind of stuff. And I was glad that she was. I was really glad that she was. Well, she's very open about struggling with her mental health and all the things that she has to deal with, and she's very, very open about it and the difficulties and stuff like that. But basically she tweeted something yesterday. Very wild tweet. When I read it, I could not believe what I was reading. It was very wild. And she was basically getting cooked as a result of it. And it's difficult because she's getting cooked and people are like, don't try and use your mental health as a cop-out now for this kind of thing. But at the same time, I get it. So basically, she was on her way. She said, hold on, let me find the original thing. She basically tweeted, this is how the tweet started. She said, I'll be with my mom, because it's ironic what happens after this tweet she tweeted. She said, I'll be with my mom in less than an hour. I could cry. Things have been so bad and she's been begging me to come home. She said she's been cooking all week. My dad is at home waiting. I'm just going to fall into their arms and disengage from all of this make-believe BS. So that was her on her way to see her parents. This is the tweets that got people cooking her. She said, the lady next to me, so she's on a flight, Delta Airlines. The lady next to me who thought it would be a good idea to buy yourself and your twin infants first-class seats on a red-eye flight, who just woke me up by bringing your screaming bastard to our seats to soothe her. I just bought $34 Wi-Fi at 4 a.m. to call you a stupid bitch. P.S. I hate you, and I hope you get a paper cut between each finger tomorrow, you senseless wench. Like, are you literally mentally delayed? What makes you think a 1-year-old will shut their bitch ass up on a 7-hour flight that takes off at 1 fucking a.m.? You already had them up past bedtime. I don't care the circumstance. Take your ass to economy at least. And then she says, I'm so pissed off right now. I already had trouble falling asleep. And as soon as I do, you bring the consequence of your sexual promiscuity into my life. I got noise cancellation on and I still woke up. F you ho, choke. This why I understood that man in the So is the baby video, because F your kids. And she was shaking the damn baby, y'all, and gripping her arms tight to try to shut her up. And that's none of my business. I'm not CPS. Right, let me get into it. I have an issue, yeah. I feel like one of the most annoying things society does is when a baby's crying in public and people look at the mum. I hate that. The mum is not the baby. The mum you cannot control baby's emotions. Some of the babies just be crying just because they just want to cry. Do you get me? She can't read the baby's mind. She just has to try whatever it is that she can to, soothe the baby. And I always hate it when people look at them weird on public transport, like kind of like a shut your baby up. But how is she gonna do that? It's always been something that really, really pisses me off. Now, her fighting and being upset that this woman is in first class with her kids. First of all, she can afford first class, her and her 2 baby infants, right? And you're saying that she should go to economy. And people were like, so you don't want to be upset in first class, but you think that people in economy are below you and they should be the ones to hear baby crying. But she said no, because basically economy has like 3 seats in one. So she could have booked all 3 seats for her family, basically.
And the sound only stays in the 3 seats.
It only stays in the 3 seats. People in front are going to hear, people at the back are going to hear. And yeah, so that was that. And then obviously then someone said, this trigger warning, okay, if you've ever had suicidal thoughts, you might want to tune out this. So someone said, yeah, damn, you should have killed yourself that one time, which I think was wild. Then she said, okay. Then she said, then she showed a screenshot of the text she sent to her therapists, talking about she's having a bad day and she's been having bad thoughts and whatever, blah, blah. And her therapist booked in a session. But obviously, because she's screenshot that, people were like, oh, here you go, using your suicide stuff. So someone said, yeah, but essentially, I feel like she should get cooked for what she said, but I don't think people should tell her to go and kill herself. Especially for someone who's fragile like that. And I think her showing the text, I agree with the screenshot because, again, it's showing people the fragility. You can't just go around saying things to people because you do not know where they're at. Someone could be having suicidal thoughts and then you go and tell them, go and kill yourself. They might go and do it because they're already in a fragile space kind of thing. So then someone said, that suicide shit is so manipulative. How do you get on the internet to call new humans bastards and their mama a wench and expect kisses and hugs? Mind you, last time she was comparing someone's child to a corpse. I don't remember the last time. I don't know when that was. And then she basically said that she wasn't trying to manipulate anyone. She's just showing that you don't know where people are going to be at when you're saying this, that, and the other to them. She said, I never use my mental health as a cop-out. I literally said I was pissed and stand by how I talk when I'm pissed. The screenshot is for the person who thought it was cool to play about suicide. I don't need your sympathy because most of y'all are dumb. Like real life dumb. Like bandwagon hate dumb. Like thinking anyone was affected by my tweets dumb. Like let's cyberbully dumb. Like your mental health doesn't matter because you said something mean dumb. Like they're dragging you in the quote retweets dumb. The worst batch of dummies. Essentially, she's basically saying that her tweets about the babies doesn't affect them because the babies don't know in it. The babies and the mum don't know. But Chika, honey, you got on viral. So the mum might see that and remember that you were sat next to her and that will make her feel some kind of way. And I just think it's not about whether direct harm is caused to the people you're talking about. It's that there are a lot of mothers, a lot of parents, a lot of fathers, a lot of parents online who will see this. And now when their kids go out, there are people who don't go out, because they don't want their baby cry because people look at them as if they're an inconvenience. These times, that's the future. Yeah. The babies that are crying are the ones that are going to pay the taxes when you're in a care home one day. Right. Do you get what I mean? I don't know, man. I've never liked the attitudes that society has towards, parents, mothers, and even when they're breastfeeding, people are looking at them like, put it away. So my baby's going to starve because you're a deviant. Look away.
I think, I think sometimes it's like you feel as though it could be done in a more appropriate setting.
No.
That's why.
Baby is hungry on this tube. But I'm not going to get off the bus and go and be tucking myself away in a corner. No. That's how you got here. That's how you were fed. Look away. Stop sexualizing people's breasts. Look away. There's nothing uncomfortable about it. Someone's breast, baby has to eat. Baby can't have a yogurt. Baby can't eat like a sandwich like you're eating. Baby has to have, this is the baby's food.
I hear it. I think it's because it's just not normalized yet. Maybe that's the reason. I remember, again, when I was working in the council, I remember dealing with one lady, young lady, she's probably, I don't know, early 20s.
Yeah.
Her kids started crying whilst talking to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
This kid could walk.
You see the people that
This guy was standing up.
You see the people, that breastfeed their grown ass kids. Yeah, I'm just like, sorry, Agbaya, why are you breastfeeding as well? Yeah, I mean, some people, the child is too old. That the baby can actually have actual milk from the fridge by itself in a glass, not even in a sippy cup, in a glass. Ridiculous, man. But yeah, I hope she's all right though, because she did say she's taking some time away from all that stuff. So yeah.
Obviously, I don't want to keep going on, right? But she obviously has to just take accountability. You can't be talking reckless like this to other people and expect, like that person said, for no one to say anything bad to you.
Yeah,
it doesn't make no sense.
You
can't do that, man. Because her message was horrible.
Very horrible. But she wasn't trying to take no accountability, so that was that. Basically, she wasn't trying to take none. And then I've told you guys about Diana. So this YouTube couple, the UK-based YouTube couple, and the guy's a boxer, Ahmet Patterson, I believe his name is, and Diana. Diana's a rapper. She's a singer. And I spoke about her and how she was basically talking about their divorce and whatever. He's basically responded. I'm going to speed through this because I got a place to be. Yeah, he basically responded and he said, first of all, yeah, I take this job seriously, you know. You know, this video was like an hour and 5 minutes of my time. I did speed it up to like I think I sped up like 2 times. I said, I'm sorry, I'm not sitting through all of this. And he kept repeating himself. Essentially, he basically called her a liar. She's alleged that he physically abused her, mentally, emotionally. She was one who was running the house financially. He was cheating on her up and down, doing all this nonsense. It was a whole thing. And it's so funny because he came on the video to disprove everything she said, but all he did was prove what she said. He said, yeah, I cheated. I was young. It's like, oh, you're in your 30s. That's cute. You're in your 30s. So he said, yeah, he said he cheated. He basically said that he didn't love her. Said he was never in love with her. And it's funny because he was like, yeah, I cheated and she stayed. I cheated again, she stayed. So I didn't hold her down to stay. Yeah, but you also, whenever you would cheat on her, you would beg her to stay with you. And I think people don't understand that is manipulative.
So he did hold her down to stay, effectively.
Exactly. And I need people to understand that cheating is a form of abuse, but that's a conversation I have with people another day. But he basically went on to say all of that stuff. He said that at the time he cheated, he blamed his cheating as well on the fact that he was going through depression because he couldn't box for a while he was ill. I think he got hit by a brick or something like that. I don't know, something like that. And he couldn't box, basically. He had a whole thing going on in his life. And essentially he's saying that that's things that steered him the wrong way. He says he's a Christian now. And he's you know, he's not the same person. And that person was, you know, was lost and whatever else. But I would never judge anyone's... Actually, no, I would. I'm not lying. But he lacked accountability. I think basically the way he was talking was like, I'm a Christian now, all things are forgiven, all things are gone, all things are in the past. But you're forgetting it's in the past for you because that is your way of avoiding and taking accountability. It's not in the past for the person that you've hurt. You cannot say Jesus has forgiven you and all things are now the old nature. It's still that person's current nature because you did that to that person. So part of being a born again person and understanding that, yes, all things are now past is you actually apologizing and owning up to the things and the harm and the hurts that you cause people. You can't mask it under Christianity. I don't know. I wouldn't say you guys should watch the video. I did it under duress. I did it because I have to. It's my job. But I watch it so you don't have to. And essentially, I don't think he did himself any good with that. And I did watch it objectively. Because I do understand, obviously, if you break up with somebody, there are people who things can come from a bad place because you're hurt and you're upset or whatever. But I do believe she tried to cover for him as long as she could. And it's when she couldn't anymore that she just talked. So essentially as well, yeah, she said he deleted 636 videos because there was a YouTube couple and everything. He came and said, no, I deleted 490. And he said she's a liar. That's why you guys can't believe her. But you still deleted videos. He said that he feels like God is the one. He got a new iPhone. When he set up the new iPhone, he has to log into things. When he logged into one YouTube account, somehow he logged into the couples one. And he said he didn't realize he had access to the couples one. And so he feels like God is the one who let him see those videos because when he saw his name being slandered, he was like, this is all illegal. It's illegal. I was like, oh, shut up. It's not. You did them, allegedly, as she said. But anyway, so he said that's how he deleted the videos and whatever. Stupid stuff, man. Do you guys care about Fast and Furious?
Not really.
All right, well, that's that. Should we go into people's journey? I'm trying to be inclusive these days. What are we doing next? People's Journal or Sis, what would you do? Because
People's Journal. I'll be quick.
okay. Excuse me. Stop it in there.
All right, people. Welcome to the People's Journal. I give you the news from an economics point of view. I'm going to be real quick today. Just to remind people, today there are some strikes on the trains. All the train guards and station staff are all striking. So that means literally only half of the rail services are going to be running. So if your journey relies on using the trains, please double check your journeys so you don't get caught up in some nonsense, man.
Is there one tomorrow as well?
Ooh, let me double check. I don't think so.
I want to go burn out, but I'm not going to fight for my life.
But usually when there is a strike, it does roll into that. Yeah. So you have to double check always. Next thing is, you know the HS2 trains, the high speed ones, right?
Yeah.
Basically, people are urging the government to rethink some of the plans, the original plans it's got, right? So some leaders in London and Manchester are coming together to basically call on the government to work with their stakeholders and all that type of stuff to come up with some new plans.
Yeah.
A lot of them are saying, the terminus station is meant to be, I think, outside of London, but they want it to be in Euston, right? So they're saying it needs to be more central, man. Let's make this inclusive, I guess. They're also asking for an underground station in Manchester as well, Manchester Piccadilly. And yeah, they just want it to connect a bit more, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's just a small thing regarding HS2, which I thought would have been done by now, but anyway, they're still working on it. Next thing is British Airways is being fined $1.1 million by the US government. And this is because, allegedly, they have failed to pay people's refunds for cancelled flights during the pandemic. So the US Department of Transportation said that the airline had not provided timely refunds to the passengers. To be fair, I don't know why you ain't done it yet. It's been a long time, you know what I'm saying? Because of obviously the flights that either got abandoned or rescheduled, right? They received over 1,200 complaints about the airline. And obviously British Airways rejected the claim, said that they obviously acted lawfully at all times and this, that, and the third, within parameters that they're allowed as a business regarding COVID. But long story short, they've been fined the equivalent of £878,000, $1.1 million. And the last thing is something that I mentioned yesterday, but just want to put it out there again. And this is that black-owned businesses in the UK will be offered more than £500,000 of free TV advertising to help support their businesses. And this is a joint venture started by Lloyds Bank and Channel 4. If you want to know more about it, go to Channel 4's website, type in Black in Business. The applications are open. And yeah, man, that's pretty much it for the People's Journal.
Thank you. Let's get into Sis. What would you do? That's a very cute gif. All right, so I've been dating my boyfriend for about 6 months now, and things are going really well. We're both really happy and we have a lot of fun together. However, there's one thing that's been bothering me lately. He is not very interested in sex. At first, I didn't think much of it. I figured he was just busy with work or something, but it's been going on for a while now, and I'm starting to get worried. I've tried talking to him about it, but he just says that he's not in the mood. I'm not sure what to do. I don't want to pressure him, but I also don't want to feel like I'm not attractive to him anymore. I'm starting to feel really insecure about myself, and I don't know how to fix this. I'm hoping that someone can give me some advice. I really love my boyfriend, but I don't want to lose him. But I also need to feel like my needs are being met. You know what? People don't talk about enough. Being sexually equally yoked. It's actually very, very important. Like, sex is a very, very important part of relationships. I will talk to him again. And I think I will have a conversation with him again and let him know how I'm really feeling. Make him know that it's making me feel like you're not attracted to me. Make him know that it's making me feel insecure. And also, what is the issue? Why are you not in the mood? We need to get to the bottom of why you're not in the mood. Is it because he's always working? So maybe that way you guys then need to kind of be more intentional about your sex life in terms of having downtime and then getting into it. Is that when he comes back from work, he's too tired? So you really have to, I guess you have to be intentional about your sex life. Like I've heard a lot of couples say that is something that you do. You can get lost in working and in life that you, especially when like they've got like kids and stuff, that you have to actually schedule time and be intentional about it. So I would have a conversation about getting to the bottom of it and understanding why it is that he feels how he feels, what is really going on. And if nothing comes from that conversation, then sis, if sex is really important to you, you might have to cut. You might have to go. I think sex is enough to break up a relationship, in my opinion. Yeah, that's my advice.
Why are you doing this?
No, just when I saw the sis, what would you do? When I saw
Oh, you brought Gina in?
yeah,
Thank you.
So while she's talking, obviously
Gina will say the same thing.
Yeah.
Gina's killing it in Malta. Malta belongs to Gina, boy.
So it's her island
Look at
right
that.
now.
Abs in that.
What a babe. Elite babe. But yeah, that's my advice. That's what I would do personally. I would just have a conversation and understand. You can't tell me, telling me you're not in the mood is not enough for me. I need to know why you're not in the mood. What is it about the mood that you can't get into? Like, what is going on? He might be stressed as well. He might have some things that he's dealing with. Like, but we need to have a proper conversation and get to the bottom of it. But I think also when you're going to have the conversation, it's not a conversation you have when he's just come out from work or when you've just come out from work. It's a conversation you have when you're having downtime. Like, oh, do you know what? What are you doing this Saturday? Let's spend some time together. I feel like certain conversations need to have in a relaxed
100%.
state. You know what I mean? You have some food, have some nice drinks, and just have the conversation. But I know you love him and you don't want to lose him, but sometimes you have to lose people when you're not on the same page. And this is... Take that off.
You mentioned food, so put up the Shayla's pulled pork slider. You asked for it yesterday. She delivered.
I didn't ask for that.
Okay, Shayla, what is that? Is that brioche bun, yeah?
Yeah.
Is that vegan?
I think Mark's asked for it. But yes, so yeah, that's what I would do personally.
I think that's still spot on, man. Yeah. And like you said, I think sometimes people don't focus on trying to get the best from a conversation. They just think, I'm just gonna have the conversation and tick off the box. At least I tried. No. Think of the best setting, the best time, so you can get the most from the conversation. This is it. And speak to him, man. Because to be fair, it's kind of weird hearing this scenario where the guy is not in the mood. I understand.
But it's not like there's just... Yeah, it is weird, but I think it's very common as well. And a lot of women don't talk about it.
100%, that's
because
true.
we see men as they should always want sex. And there is, like a guy not wanting sex is just a punch in the throat. You really don't want sex. That's one of the double standards. I can say I don't want it.
Yeah.
You on the other hand.
Yeah, exactly.
Excuse me. But I think that you need to have a proper conversation and know what's going on. He might be stressed at work. He might have a lot that's going on with him. And so he's not in that space. I feel like you do have to have a certain mind space to be able to have sex and be present. Yeah. But that's what I would advise to do.
I'm really happy that she hasn't added 2 to 2 and got like 20 million.
No.
You know what I mean? She sounds very level-headed and it's just like, okay, cool. I just want to deal with this particular issue.
That's it.
Hopefully you guys sort it out, man.
Yeah, hopefully. And, be open to that, introducing stuff as well. Bring little things in there where you can.
Has he always not been interested in sex, or was it a lot in the beginning?
Oh, she didn't say.
Oh, okay.
She said we have a lot of fun together. I believe that's inside and outside the bedroom. But she said is something bothering her lately. He's not very interested in sex. So yeah, that's true actually. Because if he's always been like that,
then he's just not.
That means you said we're having a lot because that's honeymoon period. Yeah, you got to delve into it and see what's going on with that.
Cool.
Is that it?
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's me. Let's get into headlines.
All right, so our next headline takes us to France, where influencers in France could now face jail time if they're found to have broken new promotion regulations after legislation was formally adopted on Thursday. The tough new laws aim to protect consumers from misleading or fake commercial practices online. They restrict the promotion of lottery and betting games and ban the advertisement of items such as tobacco. It's the first time that the role has been legally defined in Europe. The cross-party legislation was passed unanimously in a Senate vote on Wednesday after making its way through the rest of Parliament. Under their new laws, actors of commercial influence will not be able to advertise lottery or gambling games on platforms that do not have the capacity to prohibit minors. The promotion of cosmetic surgery as well, and some financial products and medical devices will also be forbidden alongside tobacco. And infringements could mean a punishment of up to 2 years in prison or a fine of up to 300,000 euros. Next headline takes us to Zimbabwe, where the parliament has voted in favour of controversial bill to punish citizens for unpatriotic acts, including imposing heavy fines or even the death penalty on them. Critics have called it a dark day for democracy. The so-called Patriot Clause of the Criminal Law Act targets those who harm the national interests of Zimbabwe. That's the wording, right? It includes any citizen who meets a representative of a foreign country with the aim of encouraging sanctions against Zimbabwe or overthrowing the government. Many senior government officials and state-owned companies are under Western sanctions over alleged human rights abuses. They've long blamed the opposition for this, and they want to stop meetings between the opposition and foreign officials. Parliament voted 99-17 in favour of the law, which is one of the most controversial laws of the incumbent president. It will now go to the Senate before it is signed into law. Critics say the legislation is unconstitutional as it would violate freedom of association and the right to free speech. And the last headlines, trigger warning here of what appears to be mass murder. And Mexican authorities have found 45 bags containing human remains in a ravine outside the western city of Guadalajara. Officials were searching for 7 young call center workers who had been reported missing last week when they found the bodies. The remains include men and women, and a number of the bodies is still not yet known, so there could be more, unfortunately. The search is expected to continue for several days because of the difficult terrain and poor lighting. The first bag was found on Tuesday, but because of the difficult terrain and the lack of sunlight, the investigation resumed on Wednesday and will continue until all the remains are located. This is what was said in a statement by the prosecutor's office. Although it's not been yet established how the bodies ended up in the ravine, crimes of disappearance are relatively common in Mexico. Government data shows that many disappearances have occurred since 2007, when the then president, Phillip Calderon, launched his war on drugs. And that's it for the headlines. Oh,
that's wild, man.
Before we go quickly, remember I was talking about Mexico. Yeah. Marks, you know the beaches in Mexico?
Yeah.
Where do they rank?
Where do they rank?
Compared to other beaches?
Compared to other beaches.
Not bitches, beaches.
Wait, how many beaches have I been on?
Oh, so when you went to Mexico, you wasn't at the beach?
I was at the beach, yeah.
Okay, cool. Because I always hear from people, I was saying to Esther earlier, right, that people kind of rank Mexico as like one of the best beaches in the world.
They do have nice beaches there.
Okay,
they do have nice beaches there. I can't lie, but
because I remember you saying like Mexico was like maybe one of your best holidays, isn't it?
Yeah, it's probably my favorite place, you know.
Yeah.
But I didn't think he was going on beach walks.
Not the beaches.
I was definitely going on beach walks.
Were you?
Yeah, like not like with Bay and that, just by myself.
Oh,
I'd wake up in the morning, go get breakfast, stroll down the beach, go get a massage. I'm a lifestyle man, you know.
Listen, I did not know that. I'm shocked by that.
That's my story.
I did not know that.
Yeah, make sure you walk by so when the tide comes up, the water touches your toes and thing. You know what I'm talking about?
You're an enigma, you know.
Mexico's like, I was getting confused because I was thinking about when I went to DR, and I went to DR in some of them in the wrong season, the seaweed comes up onto the beach, innit? So when you're walking, you see the seaweed everywhere.
Yeah.
But that's not Mexico. Mexico was nice, actually. Mexico was a good experience.
Okay, cool.
Sorry, is it me? That's it.
Okay, cool.
Right, what are they saying about Mexico?
No, we were just talking about
where the bluest
family
waters
holidays,
are.
early in the intro.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. I remember
Mexico's a nice place, man. I don't know why I like it so much, but there's other parts of it that I haven't gone to yet, so I could go back. If that makes sense.
Devon was better than Mexico.
Devon.
Yeah, apparently the water's blue over there.
But I see some Cornwall and all that. I've seen some nice beaches. I've seen some nice places in England.
Yeah.
I've never gone there.
I want to do a staycation.
The Cotswolds and that, or whatever it's called.
Yeah, Cotswolds.
Yeah.
One of the best drives as well.
It's just expensive. Like to
it costs as much as flying. That's the problem.
It's probably more to them nice places where the beaches and that in the summer in England to stay there costs a lot.
Yeah, in the summer.
What I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get White Bay.
They
always have a vacation home in Devon, and Cornwall, and all them places.
6 hours trips and that. Like it's far. Like it's far though. Still,
Yeah.
you feel like you might actually feel like you're in another country if you go there.
Yeah.
I was telling them, man, let's do that. Let's get a villa. But because they've got luxury villas as well. Like they've got proper there's nice stuff down there. If you Google and look, there's proper things. Go get like one of them villas on the cliffside in Cornwall or something, and just go down there, like mixed group of us, and just turn up for the weekend or something.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
I can't find a serious enough crew.
Yeah.
Can't find a serious enough crew, but yeah.
That'd be lit. Okay.
Yeah, that's it for the headlines.
Right, let's get into the reaction.
I heard Bournemouth Beach is decent, you know. My brethren, was it last year? Last year was hot, innit?
Yeah, very.
Yeah, someone went down there.
38.
Someone went down there last year and said it was heaving anyway. But I don't know. I ain't been Bournemouth before. I don't think. All right, let's get into our reaction news. This is going to be a quick reaction, really fast actually.
Like the sound of that.
Definitely. I'm not even reading these stories. So I'm just going to give you that.
Give me the tea.
I'm just going to give you like, the gist of what they're about, basically. So our first headline is about United approaching Chelsea. Well, we spoke about this. We've known about this all week. I'll give you some inside scoop. It's happening. It's done.
Jeez.
It's done.
You happy about that?
Yeah, I like Mason Mount for a good squad player. I don't think he necessarily improves the 11, but I think he improves the team. I think instantly he'll come there and he'll be one of our technically better players. Definitely be one of the most energetic and hard-working players and stuff like that. So we need that kind of stuff. So it's good for the squad. Don't mind, as long as the money's right. They're trying to fleece man, but he's got a year left on his contract. So as long as the money's right, I'm all right with that. I ain't gonna complain about that. In avenues, Messi's leaving Paris Saint-Germain. So he's gonna go. I think he wants to go back to Barcelona, but I don't even know if they can get that done because their finances are in the mud. You get me? They had an extension, another 12 months extension on his initial 2-year deal. It was worth like 25 million after tax and that, but I don't think they're gonna do it. He's got 21 goals and 20 assists all comps this season, so fair play to him. His career over there hasn't been the greatest in the world. I think because they flopped at Champions League, the fan base has definitely been on him. Like he gets whistled and jailed a lot over there, so I think they're over that love affair. So the gaffer said, bigging him up basically, just saying he's had the privilege of coaching some of the best players in history of football. This will be his last match at the Parc des Princes and all that, and I hope he received the warmest of welcome. So everybody's announced it, it's official. Messi's gone. Don't know where it ends up next year. Maybe Arsenal should sign him. And then my last bit of football news is Phil never got sacked, man. David Beckham's team, Inter Miami, has finished, I believe, their bottom of their Eastern Conference. So in America, I don't think they have relegation and all these things. They do just like the other things, playoffs and all this crap, whatever. So they can't get ready, whatever. But I think they're definitely bottom of their conference. You get me? I think they've won. I don't even know. They've lost bare games. Wait, let me check. 4th defeat in a row, and they're 10th from 15 games in the league this season. Yeah, see? They've lost 10 out of 15 games. They are in the mud. Obviously, he got the job because he was Beckham's brethren on the class of 92 out. But, yeah. Business and friends and business don't mix, man. He had to get the hell out of there. Did you see him moaning the other day because they was cussing his son?
I don't know,
Yeah, he had to come out and try and defend him. I think the Boo Boys were outside, the fans and that. Remember his son, Phil Neville's son, plays for them, innit? Yeah, and he had to come out in a press conference talking about he shouldn't go after our own. You get me? Like, I'm the manager. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, he's trying to defend him, but I think it's just because it was his youth. Maybe his youth's meaty. Yeah, and yeah, man, that's the end of our reaction, man.
There's one last thing quickly, yeah. Somebody just mentioned it in the chat, yeah, which kind of ties into the topic of the day as well, yeah. But UEFA is basically investigating the claims that a referee, the one who's going to be doing the Champions League final next week, yeah, was a keynote speaker at an event organised by a far-right politician. The same politician, yeah, is the leader of a confederation party, which is known for launching this political slogan: "We stand against Jews, gays, abortion, taxation, and the European Union." So this guy might lose his
job.
Yeah,
He just might, boy. Let me say he's a ref, yeah.
Yeah. He refereed at in the World Cup final, and also is due to do the Champions League next week. So
yeah, they better find a new one. Have you seen that tournament that's going on in America? The West Ham boys just walked off the pitch.
No, I don't know. You just walk off the pitch.
Who are they playing? Someone called Frank Newell, N-word, and Anton Ferdinand, and that just walked the team off. And like the Americans quit. There's some stuff going on. This is breaking down right now, and I haven't even read it to check it. But They're playing in America. They're on the pitch. Oh, that tackle was naughty. It's heating up. It's heating up. Anton's walked them off the pitch. There's some kind of racism. I don't know if the team's quit or if they got kicked out of the tournament. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on over there right now. Shout out.
All right. Well, big up Anton, man. And the rest of the black people that represent.
Yeah, man. And that is the end of our reaction. And I don't have no done here today. I've got an hour journey to make. So let's get to that outro, please.
Okay.
Thanks for joining us. It was a great show. Had a great guest. Shouts out David. And creative. Yep. Big up.
Control Ventures.
Creative Control Ventures. You get me? Shouts out all you lot in the building. You lot been there all week with us, making the chat dope. Thanks everybody that called in and took part in all the discussions and the conversations. And you know the routine already, man. Make sure you like the video before you get out of there. Make sure you share it. It stays up all day. Go back, share it to your friends, share it to your enemies, all that good stuff. And we'll be here, same time, same place next week. More goodness for your head top, man. Peace out.
Peace.